Hello and welcome to the morning news here on Newday on TV3. My name is Beatrice Sedu. Coming up in the next few minutes. President John Mahama reaffirms commitment to strict invigilation for national examinations, describing examination malpractice as corruption. Also on the program, National Fire Service results to use of police officers to accompany firefighters at fire outbreak scenes. And much later on the program, major anti-illegal mining operation in Amenfi Western Region results in seizure of 7 excavators. Also coming up, Parliament pays tribute to late Member of Parliament for Ayawaso East, Ture Mahama, held at the National Mosque in Kanda. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. Now, President John Mahama has reaffirmed his government's commitment to strict invigilation during national examinations, describing examination malpractice as a form of corruption that will no longer be tolerated. Speaking at the 54th National Delegate Conference of the Ghana National Association of Teachers, Mr. Mahama said that past tolerance of cheating to create artificial success must come to an end.
The 2025 WASSCE results mark Ghana's worst performance in recent years, with more than half of the candidates failing core mathematics, the poorest outcome in 7 years. Poor results were also recorded in other core subjects, including social studies. Examiners cite weak problem solving, poor data interpretation, and difficulty applying basic mathematical concepts as key causes of the maths failure. Education experts say the outcome reflects long-standing systemic challenges in the secondary education system. Speaking at the 7th Quadrennial and 54th National Delegates Conference of NAT, Education Minister Haruna Idrisu attributed the poor performance to reduced student contact hours under the double-track system, stressing that the current government cannot be blamed for last year's results.
I'm reliably and adequately informed that much of the crisis of the poor performance had to do with the application of knowledge to real-life situations. So much of the difficulty had to do with students' understanding of matters relating to application, not to blame Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the Ministry of Education for the poor performance of our students. All of us should not lose sight of the lack of adequate contact hours between teachers and students arising out of the introduction of the double-track system and its consequences generally on the quality of provision of secondary education.
President John Dramani Mahama agreed with the Education Minister, describing examination malpractice as a form of corruption that undermines the integrity of the education system.
We've all been shocked by the poor outcome of the last WASSCE. There has been a culture of silence surrounding the widespread cheating in our exam halls across the country. Heads of schools who are required to provide a performance bond to achieve a 100% pass rate have either looked on or turned a blind eye to examination malpractices. All this has been done to embellish the performance of certain batches of SHS graduates to make some people look good. Cheating in exams is corruption, and it is sad to encourage our children to be corrupt at such an early stage in their lives. Ethical integrity is key to their future.
The president also assured teachers, parents, and students that his administration will not relent in enforcing strict supervision during national examinations to restore credibility to the assessment process.
We will not give up strict invigilation, and therefore we must implement the reforms that equip our students to be able to enter the exam hall with confidence and pass their exams through diligent study and schoolwork rather than by cheating. And I pledge that we will work with you, the teachers' associations, to make sure that we're able to achieve these reforms.
As government and education stakeholders debate the causes of the poor performance, there is growing consensus that restoring discipline, improving teaching quality, and addressing structural challenges within the school system remain critical to reversing the declining trend. For many, the 2025 WASSCE results serve as a wake-up call, one that demands urgent reforms to safeguard the future of Ghana's education. Stanley Nibleu, TV3 News, Accra.
Now, former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has commended the Presidential Election Committee of the New Patriotic Party (NPP) for what he says is an impressive and transparent handling of preparations ahead of the party's primary, which is scheduled for Saturday, the 31st of January. Following a briefing by the committee, chaired by former First Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Joseph Osei-Wusu, the former president expressed his satisfaction with the progress made so far in the planning and execution of the internal electoral process. Remember that on the 31st of January, the NPP is expected to choose its next flag bearer for the party from among 5 men: Engineer Kwabena Ejay Ejapong, Kennedy Ohini Ejapong, Dr. Brian Echampong, Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, and Dr. Yao Osei Adichum. Some more here, and the final funeral rites of the late Ayawaso East MP Mohammed Nasser Ture was held on Sunday at the National Mosque with tribute remarking his compassionate nature and generosity. Now, the Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, eulogizing him on behalf of the President, John Mahama, urged calm and emulation of his traits in the development of the constituency.
صادق الأمين وهو أصدق القائلين والمصدقين ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين.
For 16 years, Mohammed Nasser Ture held the Yawasu East constituency down for the governing NDs with several attempts to unseat him hitting a snag. He was firm in his politics, people-driven and unconventionally quiet. The remarks eulogizing and tribute as poured in from family, friends and associates who have known him his entire life. For his children and spouse, imbibing into them a true sense of humanity will never be forgotten.
My husband, you are my blessing from Allah. You lived well, you loved well, you served well. And now you rest in the mercy of the one who created you. Though my heart is broken, I choose to thank Allah for the years He gave us, years full of love, partnership, and achievement.
Daddy, you gave us everything a father could give: love, guidance, and a foundation we can stand on for the rest of our lives. Even in your absence, your voice will continue to shape our decisions. Your lessons will still guide our steps.
Parliament, where he built his career as a politician, despite being a businessman, remains a home.
He was a mentor to many young MPs, offering quiet advice behind the scene and never seeking the limelight for his acts of kindness. He was also a generous giver. In Honorable Nasser Ture Mohammed, Ghana has lost a rising star of its parliamentary democracy, a man whose promise was cut short, by whose example shine.
He was the epitome of calmness, of composure, of humility, of simplicity.
His punctuality. You see, when you come to Parliament, most of the members will sit in their office till Parliament actually plenary starts. You always see him right from the onset. I can mention him, Anodom, few other members who are always on the chamber before the chamber actually start getting into business. So that is one thing I'll remember him. Of course, his nature. Everybody will talk about his nature, his humility, his down to earth, the way he relates to people. It is something that nobody can write away with.
Nasser, often in his calm nature, but very committed, exhibited a good sense of commitment to the cause of humanity, the Vice President opined.
We have learned of his composure, the kind of composure that allows for clear thinking and advice that works. We have learned of his compassion, his sense of focus, his discipline, his generosity, surely thinking of others, not putting himself first, focusing on his responsibilities and ensuring that he makes lives better for others.
After moments of tribute, the final prayers were said by the National Chief Imam for his departed soul and family he has left behind. Mohammed Nasser Toure became an MP in 2013, having just done a year of his 4th term representing the people of Ayawaso East. He has since been buried according to Islamic custom.
Remember that Mohammed Nasser Toure died on the 4th of January. Now, as the seat for the Ayawaso East constituency remains vacant, with both the NDC and NPP readying themselves to slug it out in a by-election, the NDC believes that the work it has done so far in the constituency will speak for itself, while the NPP remains confident of it being possible for the seat to be snatched.
I heard our General Secretary, Justin Kodria, coming out strongly that we are going to contest that seat. And probably this time around, we are going to snag the seat from the NDC.
You're confident knowing the trump card of your friend who is just passed from you?
Our friend is a pillar, but he has just left. So we don't know whoever is coming. And therefore, I think it is now time for NDC, MPP to snatch the seat from the NDC.
This will be a test case for the government?
It is possible. Even though it is a test case for you, it is possible for us.
It is common that if you are in opposition, it becomes difficult for you to be able to lobby the ruling government to get whatever you want. It's a must that you must find a substitute who can easily relate with government so that the project that he started will continue. And so for me, yes, it's a democracy. Let the MPP come and contest. But they know that inshallah, given the performance of this government, and given the fact that the MP also performed creditably well, I believe that the NDC is going to retain the seats.
So let's pray. Let's pray that that person will have the tenacity, the energy, the spirit, the desire, the will, the will to be able to do much as he did for this country.
In some other news, and attacks on fire service personnel during emergency operations are fast becoming a worrying trend in the country. The Chief Fire Officer of the Ghana National Fire Service, Daniela Mausi Sapon, has expressed deep concern over the situation. Her comments come in the wake of recent incidents, including the Kaswa New Market fire and other fires recorded around the country. Judith Brown has more in this report.
People beat us. Oh. Yes, to the extent that they even stabbed some of our people.
Those are the words of Chief Fire Officer at the Ghana National Fire Service, Daniela Mausi Sapon, expressing concern over what she says has become a familiar tale when fire service personnel are called upon in emergency situations. Just days ago, during the Kaswa New Market fire, a video went viral showing an altercation between a fire service personnel and a civilian. The service later clarified in a statement that the video showed a response to an attempted theft at the fire scene, and that was not an isolated case. Officers have said they face even more direct attacks while on duty. In November 2025, a fire service officer was stabbed while responding to a fire outbreak at Ajengano. The Chief Fire Officer, Daniela Mausi Sapon, says what should be routine rescue missions are increasingly turning into hostile encounters.
We had an incident at Ajengano where some thieves came around. So of late, when we are going for fires or emergencies, we go with the police. By that time, the police hadn't come. So somebody was trying to steal a telly, and then one of my men prevented him, and he stabbed him. Luckily for him, he raised up his hand, so he stabbed his hand here. So these are some of the challenges. But we found him. The area people even caught him for us, and he's been remanded. In the case, it's at Achimota Circuit Court. And I think people will have lessons to learn out of what is going to happen, because he's been reminded 3 times. And the next date is, I think, Wednesday, where we'll go and see the outcome of it. So that is our challenge. They beat us, they throw stones at us and all that. We've come to help. We are not enemies. And then when you start doing and misbehaving like that, it's really very, very worrying.
She also attributed delays in responding to emergency fire calls to refusal of some road users to give way to fire service vehicles on duty.
It's because of traffic, the bad roads and all that.
Everybody moves out of the way for you.
You are saying it. They don't mind us.
Really?
Yes, at times it's very difficult. At times our men will just be using their hands to just let them clear off the road for us to have access and then go to the fire we have to attend. The road network at times too, it's very bad and it's a bit difficult getting there. And so I would say I'm very happy since the president is making this of Anko Kumasi Road. Because when there's a fire outbreak around that area, we have Amasamai. But if they have to come in from Accra, the next closest place is Abilinkwe. And the road next to is very bad. So the 4 to 8 minutes that we are talking of can be possible.
Meanwhile, she says the fire service is currently collaborating with the Ghana Water Company to demarcate new areas for fire hydrants.
Most of them have been built on. And then we've liaised with them. So we've started going around the whole country. They've started going around to demarcate new areas that will be having these hydrants made for us to get access to water when there are emergencies. The last time we went to Kantamanto fire, in front of us, there was a hydrant there. But then somebody had put on a container there and was selling the water. It was the mayor who came and then demolished. The moment I told him, he demolished it. Then the water started coming.
Judith Brown, TV3 News.
Samuel Hen, the chairman of the Western Regional Security Council and Regional Minister Joseph Nelson, is urging the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources to deploy effective real-time monitoring systems for comprehensive surveillance of water bodies. This call follows a major anti-illegal mining operation on Saturday, which resulted in the seizure of 7 excavators. Meanwhile, the Western Regional National Security Liaison Officer Brigadier General Waja, retired, has warned that security forces will sustain their operations in the Amenfi areas. Irama Smith has more in the following report.
After months of downstream riverine operations from the Jura area to the estuary of the Ankoba River, the Western Regional National Security Liaison Officer, Brigadier General Musa Waja, retired, laments that the regular patrols by the security forces have not resulted in the achievement of their primary objective.
Over the past months, our concentration on riverine operation on the Cobra River from USO towards where the Cobra meets the sea. And as we continue to observe, you realize that we are not making the desired impact that we want. So we decided to move further upstream. And what we have seen from Bremai, Takwa Bremai, is an indication that we have a lot to do.
It is in this regard that a joint operation by the 2nd Infantry Battalion and the Western Naval Command launched an operation at 5:15 a.m. on Saturday in the Amenfi Central District. Significant evidence of environmental degradation was observed along the Takwa Bremen Road, as illegal miners had indiscriminately taken over the land, leaving an electric pole dangerously unsupported. On the same stretch, barely a meter from the main road, this mining site looked ready to collapse, raising concerns that the road itself could easily cave in. This activity continued despite a warning signpost erected by the Iwa family, the land's rightful owners, and repeated earlier complaints from community members.
We do not support what these miners are doing here. Mining our roads to this extent is unacceptable, but we feel powerless to stop it. They have cut off our roads, making it impossible to transport cocoa from our farms. That is why we are so grateful for these operations.
While the 2nd Infantry Battalion actively took action on land, burning makeshift structures, their counterpart in the Western Naval Command struggled to launch their boat, which they had transported from Takoradi. This was due to the severely silted condition of the Ankobra River. Where it once flowed with deep water, some sections had become ground one could cross with ease. After all attempts to launch the official boat failed, the team resorted to the use of a small wooden canoe. It was also observed that illegal miners had channeled their waste and polluted water directly into the main river. Brigadier General Musa Waja retired warns that the security forces will sustain the operations in the Amenfi areas.
We intend to sail from Takwa Bremai to Pristia. And it has been shocking for us to see how the land has been devastated and how people are mining and they are washing into the Ankobra River, as just close to be seen here. Most of the areas that we have sailed on the river, you realize that because of the mining, some areas have been blocked. And I know that we will be able to go through this. So for those at Amanfi Central, for now, you should stay off from the Ankobra River. We are going to sustain the operation until we are very satisfied. And then we move on further upstream to Amanfi West.
Following several hours of operation, they retrieved 7 excavators and 7 water pumping machines from sites along the Ankobra River. In a related development, the chairman of the Western Regional Security Council and Regional Minister, Joseph Nelson, is urging the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources to deploy effective real-time monitoring systems for comprehensive surveillance of the water bodies.
And so dealing with the illegal activities downstream doesn't solve the problem in its entirety. And that is why we need to have a system in place that will scan the full length of the river in real time so that we know what is happening there. But that's the only way we can come to terms with the challenge on the river and be able to deal with it. One way of doing that is through a drone system. If we're able to deploy an effective drone system, should be able to deal with this challenge so that we're able to appreciate the activities on the other side, the upstream. Because much as we've been working down here, the turbidity of the river hasn't changed much.
Irama Smith, TV3 News, Western Region.
And that's all for the morning news here on Newday on TV3. My name is Beatrice Edu. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Do continue with us on Newday.
My head really aches, feeling cold and feverish.
Sorry. I know the solution to your problem. It is Procold.
Procold? I bought some 3 days ago, but I'm not seeing any improvement. You can even have a look.
This is fake. Let's go to the drugstore. Please, we want Procold. No, not this.
Oh, but this does the same work, and it's even far cheaper.
It's good for productivity at work, and it's also good for the working class, the working people.
But which of you went out of town? Because I'm curious.
I was going to ask the same question. Because
now is always. I saw now
either you go
at the beach or a fishing shop.
I went to, but it wasn't out of town. It was at Jamestown.
Jamestown.
Okay. So you've seen the Jamestown fishing
out of your area.
Because I'm guy. If I leave my area and go to Jamestown, I've traveled there.
But who leaves America to go somewhere else?
Yeah. So I was on the beach. I was on the beach to buy fresh fish.
Wow.
Yeah, it's nice. Have you bought fresh fish from the beach before?
I think once or twice.
It
also
tastes
within
different.
Jamestown.
I've witnessed it being bought, but not myself.
But it tastes different.
I think so. It was a long time ago, to be honest.
It tastes different.
Okay.
When you buy fish from the beach.
You mean
fresh?
Fresh from the live catch.
Yes,
the live catch.
I waited for the fishermen
frozen.
to come back.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was there just about the time they left. I waited till they came back.
Oh, wow.
And then I bought entree, the very small.
Oh, you mean they came back around 11, 12?
Yes.
Okay. Because that's the time usually they'll come back.
Yes, that's the time they usually come back.
And you were there before they went?
Yes.
Wow, what time was that?
So they usually, it depends. Some people take off around 4 a.m. and others take off around 6, 7. So, and then the very late ones will probably take off around 8 o'clock. But then they usually take off at 4. Some take off around 6, 7, and then some take off at 8.
So you went on your usual walk?
Oh, how can I go and walk? Do you know where I live to Jamestown? I drove there.
You drove to a point
anyway,
it
was nice.
But how is the trade like now, especially for fisher folk in Jamestown?
Well, yesterday from some of my conversations with them, things are good generally, but they have a major concern with those who do the light fishing. So I learned about that yesterday. So there are people, they say they come from Pram Pram and Tema who do light fishing, and they disturb the trade. So normally when you go fishing, you cast your net and you fish. But then there are some fisher folk who use light to fish. So they put the light in the ocean and it attracts the fish.
Yeah.
And then when the fish gather, they catch them, which is easier for them. But then it affects the rest of the fisher folk.
Yeah.
So that's a problem there. Aside from that, it appears the fishing harbor that has been constructed is good for them. Work goes on well. When I went, a lot of them had come to dock their canoes, and it's quite nice. Yeah, it's quite nice to see. So shouts to Nisempe at Jamestown Harbour. He's also known as Charles Alote. Thank you for a good tour and assistance that you gave me yesterday at the Jamestown Fishing Harbour. But anyway, back to the matter. It's been a long weekend with a lot of headlines, especially featuring our former finance minister.
Kenneth Ofori, he's been dominating the headlines for a very long time, and he was more dominant over the period, particularly with the release from the Ghana embassy in the U.S. indicating that he had refused all overtures for what you describe as consular
assistance.
Okay.
Yes.
But that's how they put it in the statement.
Right? So we know that he is unfortunately in detention right now, in the hands of ICE, U.S. Immigration. And the first question that a lot of Ghanaians asked was, is he getting any support from the Ghana embassy in the USA? Over the weekend, we got the report that he has actually refused consular assistance from the Ghana embassy in the USA. So he remains in detention, and he's supposed to appear before the court on the 20th?
I think that's what the deputy AG told us when he appeared.
His case will be heard on the 20th.
Yes. And we also understand now that it's not that he had overstayed his visa.
It was revoked.
But it was actually revoked.
Okay, it was revoked, and he was given time to leave the
exit.
state.
So as far back as June 2025, right?
Yes.
So
and he was supposed to leave in November. But he stayed on, and now he is in detention. And it's very... for me, I mean, it's very painful to see a man of Ken Ofori-Atta's status and who he is, or who he was, and still is, a very respectable minister of state of our country, now in detention in another country. And we saw some videos and photos of what that detention center looks like with bunk beds and, and I was very brokenhearted to see it. I mean, it's not something we want to see. It would have been better, in my opinion, if he had come back home and the processes that were supposed to, supposed to be followed legally would be done, and then we would know really what would become of it. But to see him in a different country in detention.
Unfortunately, that doesn't seem perhaps to be his decision and the advice being given him. And over the weekend as well, there were a number of people who sympathize with him, who expressly said that they think if they were advising him, they would tell him not to come back, because
at this point,
even prior, before that, people still felt same. Those who are sympathizing with him because they feel that, I mean, it will not be good for him. They think that this is political persecution, as it were. But again, opinions are divided. A number of people feel, well, if you've done nothing wrong, just come and clear your name. But others who think otherwise feel that, no, if I were advising him, I'll tell him, don't come.
I wonder if they will still advise him the same way now.
Well, Saturday we had
that.
We had that. For instance, Kofi Bento, Vice President of Imani Africa, said the same, that if he were advising him, he would tell him not to come to the country.
Based on what?
Based on the same argument that they think he's being persecuted, they think he will not have fair hearing if he came here. Exactly. But again, then it becomes a bit more, I mean, more complicated, like we're hearing now. If the visa was revoked in June, like we heard the Deputy AG tell us, he was supposed to return in November and he still didn't do. And now ICE, ruthless ICE, let's be specific.
Following all that they've been doing over the last few weeks.
Exactly. I mean, now people are still arguing about the woman who was shot in Minneapolis and all of that. So it becomes more complicated for him. But let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see how that goes. But it's not the first time that we've had a minister for the Exchequer who will be facing any form of charges or before the court, so to speak. We've had Kwame Pepra before, and within that same period, we also have Victor Selemi of blessed memory, even died in prison.
Yeah.
And so while this argument I'm raising is not in a way to equalize, it also means that we have a precedent. And in law, that also means that a stated case has gone through the process of adjudication, ended, judgment given, and subsequently that becomes the precedent by which any form of jurisprudence or judiciary will go through.
Exactly.
But then also for lessons to be learned, I think that what clouds the narrative is the fact that there is perceived haunting of the man, but there are issues of accountability that many people in civil society as well as in governance feel that once you hold public office, you also have assigns and a network of people you have communicated and worked with over the period, where we have quasi-state agencies who want to ask you key questions, then I believe that you also will be in a better position for the public good to make them answerable, more important.
Yeah.
And then you also get the opportunity to clear the air.
Exactly.
Because before the former finance minister became the finance minister, he was also a man of repute. Of course, he had developed a number of businesses in Ghana. He still owns large sections of property in Ghana. Has a wide range of people who looked up to him. I've read his books over the period when I was growing up as well, because he wrote books on how to save, etc. Of course, by the time we had the debt exchange and haircut, etc., all those sort of transformational motivations, we had to dump them, because really, after decades of investment, you find that they're useless. But beyond that, you occupy public office. You have people, whether in the private sector or not, that you work with or who work with state agencies. And so when quasi-judicial organs of state or organizations of state want you to come and answer questions, I believe that the narrative then makes it quite difficult for everybody to see through what really are the issues that need to be answered. 2, how can they be answered? 3, where are there real cases? You know, then you know that you're giving perhaps the public a good case for the future narrative, so to speak. I mean, you know, I find it quite worrying that a man of his repute will have to be handled the way he is, because I mean his house is here very empty.
You know what you were talking about, you know, his back in the day reading his books. The first time I heard about investment, the very first time I heard about investment was from him. I was a student at GIJ when a team from Data Bank came and spoke to us about buying. I've forgotten the name of the product. It was
M-Fund.
It wasn't the M-Fund. It was this one for students. something pack.
Okay.
Was it e-pack? I'm not sure. I don't really remember. And so as a young student, I went and then I started investing, at that age. And everything I knew about investment, I learned from Data Bank.
Yeah.
So even before he became a Minister of Finance, just to add to what you were saying, he was doing very well for himself and in the investment space.
Doing well for himself. I mean, he's always been a man of, he's a man of his own.
It's intriguing you say that, because when I started working as well, I remember I went to see an uncle and I was like, I need an investment. I mean, what do I do? And I was told, oh, there's Data Bank. And that was also the first time I heard about that. And again, the point Roland makes about Victor Salome, very interesting, because over the weekend I was speaking to a senior lawyer as well who said, well, and he was also one of those thinking that he doesn't think Ken Ofori-Atta should come. And he used Victor Salome as an example that when he came to Ghana, he died. But again, yes, I mean, it depends on how the issues are interpreted.
And how you look at it.
Exactly. And the circumstances that both issues have been exactly in. So it becomes a bit more complicated.
I think what's happening now. What's important for us to consider, or what I believe his lawyers have asked for, is an assurance of fair trial should he come back. I was listening to the Attorney General over the weekend, and he said that he had been in touch with Ken Ofori-Atta's lawyers, or they had been in touch with him from the US on a Zoom call, and the conversation or their concern was that he will have a fair trial when he returns to Ghana. And the Attorney General has assured him of a fair trial, and he did say that. I mean, what else would they do rather than assure him and make sure that when he does come back, the stated process in law is what will be followed. He's not it's not a witch hunt, they're not trying to persecute him, so to speak, and that he will have an absolute fair trial properly, because it's going to be one of those trials, should he come back. That would be, top of the news and in the full glare of all Ghanaians. Nothing untoward is going to happen. Nothing is going to happen which would be a direct attack on his person or on anything except in accordance with the law. So just to add to things that have happened in the past, in relation to prominent persons, going through the legal process, the Attorney General has assured Ken Ofori-Atta and his lawyers that he will have an absolute fair trial, and we look forward to hearing more in the coming days, especially after he goes before the court on the 20th of this month. But it's just one of the issues we're going to be looking at today. We'd like to find out what your thoughts are. Some Ghanaians believe that Ken Ofori-Atta should not come back. Others think that, well, why don't you just come and answer? And if you have done nothing wrong, you'll be a free man. You have a life in Ghana. You have a lovely home. You have your family. You don't have to be elsewhere under these situations. So some also believe that, well, if he says he's unwell, he should stay there until he gets well. What are your thoughts and on all the matters arising from the Ken Ofori-Atta issue and conversations following thereof? Let us know. The phone lines are on your screen. Will be on your screen in a moment. You can call us and let us know. But we are also going to go into big issues, and that's one of your topics that I see on the table for discussion.
It is the first, and so we'll take a look at it, especially refusing that opportunity or perhaps the overture from the embassy in the first place, and then subsequently we'll look at some other relevant issues for that. But we also have cash out. It goes with short code *439#. As many times as you can, increase the number of tickets you have. Choose option 2. We've only spent 2 days out of January.
12. Today is 12.
Well, I have to know that people say that under this administration, January is going fast. How you feel about that?
I don't know about that.
I saw this on Facebook that it's like under this administration, January
so choose option
have 60 days.
Option 2 and increase the number of tickets.
Are you playing?
The cash out.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
interested.
I'm interested because like Charlie, the pocket dry, so you have to replenish.
Anyway.
Replenish. Let me say good morning to Exilis Dwayne. I see your message. And you said big ups to Na as well as Beatrice this morning. I just don't understand their position on the Ken Ofori-Atta matter.
We don't have a position.
Okay, they said they don't have a position.
No, but also this morning on the show, we're going to go over to
the beach,
the Lejekuku constituency. And if we have time, we'll also go to Krowo. there is a water crisis currently going on in Tema, in Nungwa, and in Teshin. Now, we know that this has been going on for a while now. I have seen myself going to Teshin over the last few months. Some drip tankers, is that what you call them?
Yeah.
The
commercial ones?
Yeah, no, the drip ones.
Okay.
So it's District Road Improvement, I don't know what the P is, it's program.
Yes.
District Road Improvement, I think it's program. So the tankers have been providing water to the communities. And I think it is by the assembly that enables that. We'll find out more later on the show today. But basically, the Ghana Water Company Limited is not able to provide water for these communities like it used to. And it's become a problem for many of the households. And so the assemblies are now having to provide water through the drip tankers, which I have seen a few times in Teshin in particular, to provide water to the community people. Now, in Tema, also the problem is the same. There's no water. The community folk are having to buy water, which is rather expensive for many households. In Nungwa, the problem is the same. People in the community are having to buy water, and which is quite expensive too. So this morning, we're going to go to Teshin and hopefully Nungwa as well, just to engage with you in the community. So if you are in Teshin and Nungwa this morning, we'll be coming to you in the Mami, just to find out exactly what is happening and how you're coping, you and your household. And so you look out for us at around 9:15 a.m. We'll be there. But for now, we're activating the phone lines and inviting you to share your thoughts on Ken Ofori-Atta and related matters with his issues regarding ICE and his possible return to Ghana. It's time for This Morning.
And you're welcome to This Morning segment. Yes, so share your thoughts with that. A lot of things happened over the weekend. Even prior to the weekend, the information about Ken Ofori-Atta, the possibility of he returning to Ghana. And of course, after he was arrested by ICE and put in detention. And so share your thoughts with us, especially when the consular in U.S. is telling us, as in Ghana's embassy in U.S., telling us that Ken Ofori-Atta has rejected any sort of engagement with that office. Share your thoughts with us, and perhaps if you've got any word for the government as well as this issue unfolds. The phone lines are activated. Call in and let us know what you think about what we are discussing this morning.
All right, I already have some messages coming in. Good morning, Na. Good morning to Beatrice and Roland. It's good to see the three of you together again. As for Ken Ofori-Atta, if I were his friend, I would tell him to please find somewhere and go. Find somewhere and go. Because coming to Ghana will really not help him. And that's from Araba texting in. Aka texting us from the Aflao border. Officer Aka, one of my new best friends. Oh, nice. Officer Aka texting us from the Aflao border. Good morning. It's great to know that you're watching us this morning. And good morning to the entire immigration team at the Aflao border watching us. We have a caller joining us now.
Yes, we do. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us on This Morning segment of Newday. Your name, where you're calling us from?
Hello.
Hi.
I'm calling from Boku.
Yes, sir. How is Boku this morning?
Boku is cool.
Great. Please tell us your name.
I'm seeking permission to just say good morning in Kusau to Overlord of Kusau. Do Allah football Bokna Jugan with Kusau. When I'm not good for Nanam Musa. Coming back to Ofori-Atta's case, the law is the law. If you have accepted a position as a Minister of Finance, and the law says you need to have come and, you say you are innocent about the whole issue, come and clear yourself. Because now with the reference to Victor Solomon and Pepra and Co., it tends to be like political issues. This is not political issue. It is the interest of the Ghanaians. Everybody wants to see the facts of the truth of the whole issue. It shouldn't be intimidating. Nobody is intimidating him. And the second issue is please, I want to find out if the local government can find out from how much would Ghanaian man should pay for birth and death set.
Okay.
Imagine some those who are going to Mecca or where now paid about 400, 600 to 1.2. I don't know. I knew previously you used to take birth set free from 0 to 1 year, and now they have brought electronic birth set, and we don't know how much we should pay for it. And we are talking of corruption, and we have created a vacuum for somebody to be getting money at the local level there.
Mm. All right.
I don't know if you're getting me where I'm coming from.
No, we're not getting you. But I think we get a gist of what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello?
Hello? I'm saying that...
yeah, so you're saying you have a problem with the local office of the birth and death registry. Is that it? You think that's the officials there?
We don't know how much we should pay for.
Okay. Okay. And you said it's in Boko?
It's, even, the birth set depart unit is a place where we should rely on and timely happening within the district and region and the country at the
I'm sure our correspondents will make inquiries about that, and perhaps if there's anything they will let you know. Thank you so much for calling us from Boko and for sharing those thoughts with us.
We have more callers joining us on the phone lines on the Ken Ofori-Atta matter. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, sir. What's your name and where are you calling us from?
My name is Nambuchi. I'm calling from Katwa.
Welcome to the show. What are your thoughts on this?
Thank you. Now, how are you? And Roland and Beatrice?
We're fine.
We are well.
Thank you for asking.
And the joy.
All right, go ahead, my dear.
Okay. I think these people think that they are special people.
Which people?
Ofori-Atta and then the MPPs. They think they themselves will set the laws and the rules for them that doesn't apply to them. But it has to apply to ordinary Chinese. These things need to stop. And they are aided by the media and stuff. The law is the law, as you say. I don't think that special things should be created for him. He should be deported. Whatever that has been created should be allowed. Nothing special to be done to him. He should face the law when it's done. Simple.
Okay. All right, thank you. Thank you so much for calling. You may also call us. Let us know what your thoughts are. Do you think that Ken Ofori-Atta should come back? If you had his ear and you could advise him, would you ask him to come back home? He has refused consular assistance in the USA, and he's set to appear before the courts on the 20th of this month. We have another caller joining us.
Yeah, we do. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for calling us, and thank you for joining us on the program. Please tell us your name, where you're calling us from.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
I'm Jesse from Obuasi.
David.
Jesse from Obuasi.
You see, from Obuasi. Thank you so much for joining us. Share your thoughts with us.
Yes, please. I want to talk about the Galamsey issue because I look the news this morning, and in fact, it is a very big problem because the river and Cobra, the destruction of the environment. Master, Ghanaians, we are in danger. So I'll call the president to declare the forest zones and the river zones as what? A security zone. Nobody should go there. Or state of emergency in our river side and the forest side. Because the soldiers are holding the guns as they are holding the sticks. It doesn't work for Ghana. It doesn't work for Ghana. So if the president says he is resetting the Ghana, then the president will beg him to resetting our environment for us, for our generation and for our future. Madam, as you are sitting there, you are in danger. I'm also in danger. The president, everybody is in danger. So we beg the president that the forest and the riverside should declare as a state of emergency. As one of the MPs from the party, shoot and kill. That is the only thing that can solve our problem for us. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much, Yusuf, for calling in from Obuasi. You know, this morning when I saw the visuals, I was equally shocked. I mean, River and Cobra, when I was in junior high school, I mean, when we talked about big rivers in Ghana, all of us learnt about these rivers. And it wasn't just the river. Also, the place where you have the electricity poles, they had dug all around them to an extent that the poles were just hanging on some soil. I mean, I was shocked when I saw the visuals this morning. I saw
on the morning news.
Yes, his thoughts, yes.
Well,
yeah.
Well, as for the Galamsey and Galamsey-related matters, the more we talk about them, the more difficult it is for us to accept that this is where we are as a nation. Roland, you're going to read some messages. Alhaji is on the phone for you.
Not for me.
Alhaji is on the phone for you.
Alhaji, how are you?
Roland.
Yes.
That's right.
Anna, Tibia.
Tibia.
Gombian.
Now, how are you?
I'm fine, Alhaji. Welcome to the show.
And Tukiti and Kamima Musay and my municipal chief Honorable Abdullah Imur, municipal chief executive for Sagnarbo and chief of staff Zebra. When you look about the King of Farata, I think a lot of people accept that I can bring King of Farata into this country. But when this issue started, some people have problem with the Attorney General, Dominic Akotinga. When he says he do something and they arrest the King of Farata, and people did not believe it. And some people in NPP killing it. If King of Farata knew that he doesn't do anything wrong, why King of Farata don't want to come to this country again? King of Farata is not the Ghanaian again. Let's ask that question. So, if King of Farata he should come to this country, because you know you did nothing wrong. Why are you hiding yourself? Getting to 1 year. Akufo-Addo is still in this country. Bawumia is still in this country, going around lying to people. But we will do serious investigation, or we will do serious to bring King of Farata into this country. That will make Ghanaians happiness. So let's keep on praying for the Dr. Dominic Akotinga and Special Prosecutor. They should be serious and bring this man into this country. If not so, Daniel will not happy. So we don't want King of Farata in the abroad. We want him in this country. Let's keep on fighting in our prosecution for the King of Farata. May God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong. Thank you very much.
Thank you to Alhaji for calling in and for sharing those thoughts with us.
All right, we have some messages coming in. This is from Papa Yenzu Kwansa William. And he says, since Oforiatta has refused to come home, it means he has already accepted the charges. And it's a very bad image to him and his family. But what has his family got to do with this? All right. Good morning now. Are you surprised that the former finance minister was living in a luxury apartment which was once occupied by former U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris? Remember, the president ever wanted taxpayers to buy him a luxury plane so that he could bath in the air? Do you remember the renting of... Okay. All right, Kalioman, thank you for your message, but I'm not reading all of it. All right, so this is a message from Togbeke Kosi, the 8th, watching us from Abutia Teti in the Volta region, and he says special good morning to you, Roland. You know him?
Yeah, Togbe, good morning. No. All right, so we have a couple of messages, and we have some great people. This one is coming from Kwesi Mensah, who is watching us from the US. He actually lives in Albany, New York, and says that, good morning, Roland and the team. I'll try and visit Ken Oforiatta today. Who are you that you'll be allowed to? And and you're asking, if really is clean, why is he running away from accountability, having held office for close to 8 years, you say? And Okay, so Kwame Oseyeje says that Ken Ofori-Atta is being treated as if he's nothing at all. Somebody who has occupied the position of finance minister for nearly 8 years, has contributed to Ghana's development, and then his reputation is well intact, well educated in the United States of America, and is being mistreated. NDC thinks they will be in office all the time. They should wait. When the MPP comes one day, everybody will be rounded up. Okay, and then...
NDC in the US or where?
I don't know.
Philip Abuchi says, to be frank, the late Victor Salome, lawyer Chatu Chikata, Dan Agbodakpi, then trade minister, were charged with financial issues or financial loss to the state. And one of them even died in prison. Today, what is preventing the former finance minister, Ken Ofori-Atta, from coming home and facing the strong charges? Even Kwame Pepra, the finance minister, was also held before court.
Let me read two messages. One from Simon Yen. Good morning, Beatrice, Roland, and Na. On the brouhaha of Ken Ofori-Atta, it is now clear that his visa was revoked and he was giving up to November to leave, but he did not comply, hence his arrest. We also understand that he has declined the audience from the Ghanaian embassy. A number of questions linger in my mind. Why should he refuse to come, and why did he refuse the assistance? Let's go to our next caller. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell us your name, where you're calling us from.
Speaking from Cape Coast.
Cape Coast. The name again?
Larry, speaking from Cape Coast.
Yes, sir. What do you think of what's on the table today?
Yeah, in fact, the question about whether he should come back today even arrived, because Ken Ofori-Atta, when he was actually signing those bonds, doing those the cutting of those haircuts, we were not there. So he should come back and explain to Ghanaians what happened when he was doing that, signing those SMS deals. We were not there. Roland now was not there. So he should come back and explain to Ghanaians to know what happened.
Thank you so much, Larry, calling us from Cape Coast in the central region. There's also a message from Aziz Donla, where he says, if Ken Ofori-Atta doesn't come to account to us, it will be a bad precedent, because duty-bearing wouldn't mind spending our funds on unproductive ventures. Ken must come home. And that's coming from Aziz Donla. There's also Master Planner Junior, Policy Analyst Kintampo. He says if they also think Ken Ofori-Atta has done something wrong, they should tell Ghanaians and go ahead to deal with him. There's one thing this government wants to achieve, to see Ken Ofori-Atta in handcuffs with his pictures and videos on social media. Anyway, that's coming from Master Planner Junior, Policy Analyst Kintampo. Thank you very much for sending in your messages and for calling through. Well, dreaming of watching the 2026 FIFA World Cup live in the USA, Canada, or Mexico? Let the visa stress stay off the pitch. At Touchdown Travel, so we guide you step by step from documentation to interview preparation, so you can cheer your team live. Touchdown Travels, your stress-free travel agency for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. We're located at the LOC building at Dabraka. Contact us on 059-3434-175. Touchdown Travels. We handle the journey. You enjoy the moment. And yes, are there still some messages for us?
Well, so we have a couple of messages. Yes. Okay, so this one is coming from Prince Nani Ayok, watching us from the UK. It is indeed sad to see Ghana's former finance minister detained in the US by the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, that will be ICE, over issues with his immigration status related to the validity or extension of his visa or stay, especially since he has a home country to return to, amid ongoing corruption allegations against him back in Ghana. And, well, all that is needed. People are asking why the family issued statement when he was issued, and people are asking why the family issued statement when he was issued red alert. Let him come home and then face justice. And then also have this one from Sherry Giovanni. I will advise Ken Ofori-Atta to come home and defend his image and integrity. On the other hand, the authorities must also try and bring down Madam Sedinam Ationu Tamaklo to serve her prison sentence as he was jailed in absentia. Good morning to Rashid Dramani and Miss Maria Moga of UEW and Richmond Sechi as well. Good morning to you. And subsequently, we also have more messages coming through. Adelate, and that is Anna Adelate of Ejumakun, gets the DA Basic School at Ejumakun in the Central Region. You're a member of the Ghana National Association of Teachers. Wishing you all the best for the day.
Well, as you prepare to call in and send in your messages, let me remind you that there's a world-class university right here in Ghana, and that's Rosebank International University, a strong South African university and a brand of the ADV Tech Group, Africa's largest private education provider with 146 schools across 5 African countries and over 100,000 learners, and partly owned by the World Bank through the IFC. Rosebank International University is fully accredited by the South African Qualifications Authority, the British Accreditation Council, GTech in Ghana, City Guild UK, and Capsicum Canary Studio. At Rosebank International University, we offer a Doctor of Business Administration, MBA, Master of Science, and Master of Philosophy in Digital Marketing, Bachelor of Supply Chain Management, targeting professionals in freight forwarding, customs, and many more. We offer hospitality and culinary arts, available at diploma, undergraduate, and postgraduate levels. Our ICT has BSc Information Technology and Business Systems and IT Computer Application Development, all carefully designed to equip you with the skills and qualifications needed for a successful global career. Our mission is simple: inspiring excellence. Admissions are now open for January 2026. You can visit our modern campus at Airport Commercial or Pebia House, Accra, or apply online at www.riuc.edu.gh. Rosebank International University, building global citizens. And it's still here on Newday on TV3. When we come back, we'll bring you the big issue and many more. Do stay with us.
United States, potentially, what does it mean as well? So we're here to discuss that. We also do know that the Finance Ministry has issued a statement indicating that at least we have a past settlement of the legacy areas when it comes to the energy sector. We also have a confirmation from the chamber that is responsible for the IPPs by way of that representation that a part of those legacy debt had been defrayed by the finance minister. Potentially, how does that inure to the benefit of the energy sector and giving it some level of sustenance over the period? But let me just introduce our guest for the morning, the CEO for the NPAs here, the National Petroleum Authority, Lawyer Digita Maklo. Good morning to you.
Good morning, my brother Roland, and good morning to my two distinguished co-panelists. I want to thank you and thank the Almighty God for the benefit of today.
All right. Thank you also. I hope that all of you had a great weekend, including Lawyer Apia Damka. Good morning to you as well.
Good morning,
Another
Papa,
week.
had a very quiet weekend. Good morning, my brother, Edgy and Dog here. And good morning to your lovely viewers.
Yeah. And then also Dr. Bernard Tutu Boahin. How are you?
Papa Ro.
I hope you're well.
Yes, we thank God for life.
Great. Well, let me say good morning as well as well wishes and commiserations to the Awuno family as well as the family of Iraba Margaret Odro, who is the mother of the MD for the Bost Energies as well. That's Apechi Awuno and Lashibi Fonoa Homes. Were there on Thursday. A lot of people couldn't even get to enter the chapel itself, but also lends credence subsequently to how you're revered by many people and respected in the petroleum downstream sector, heading boss as well. And to the family, we wish you all the best. But we have to start that discussion.
It was said on Thursday that this one was it was a petroleum funeral, and we all trooped in our numbers to go and give and give a befitting burial to our mother, and we thank Almighty God that the program ended very calmly and beautiful. It was a very solemn moment, you know. Right. Baro, I think that some few things have been happening in the past few days, and I think it's important that we acknowledge that. IGP Yohonu and his police management team, the men and women in uniform, have over the period done certain important arrests that gears towards making all of us safe in our homes, on our streets, among others. They have effected the arrest of some robbers who, per the police reports, have been terrorizing citizens. I make this point in sharp response to the press conference organized by the minority not long ago, led by our old mother, Madame Patricia Piaget, where the minority sought to create an incident or create an impression that there is insecurity in the country. I want to thank IGP Yohonu and his officers for this major arrest. They are geared towards making all of us safe in our homes so that we can sleep in peace. So to the men and women of the Ghana Police Service, I say ayuko and continue the good work.
Okay. Now, from what the Ghanaian embassy is saying, the overtures made to Ken Ofriatta, and he says that without the presence of his lawyers, he has a right, of course, to refuse that support. But what do you make of the narrative so far, subsequently leading to that support that had been extended to him by the Ghana embassy?
Okay. Thank you so much. I hope we will have the opportunity of maybe discussing briefly the groundbreaking payment done by the Ministry of Finance.
Yeah, we'll do that for the second.
The Ministry of Energy.
So once we keep
1.4 billion legacy debts. Our lights have been on for the past almost a year, and I want to salute the Minister of Finance and my sector minister, Honorable Abdullahi Jinapo. But that said, on the substantive matter, you see, Roland, I am a firm believer of the rule of law and the respect for same. I have, in the past 12 years, in my law practice, represented clients of diverse backgrounds, but mostly in terms of criminal defense practice, I have done a bit of work, and I have always advocated that anything that gives the ordinary Ghanaian the opportunity and the benefit of due process, that should be done. And we should never do anything to reduce those fundamental rights, particularly the constitutional provision on Article 19. And you have the benefit of the Constitution. Kindly read it for me, Article 19 of the Constitution.
So basically, I'll just go through.
And the heading relates to fair trial. Fair trial.
Fair trial.
The fair trial rules. And the reason for these fair trial rules is that it is no respecter of a person. Be you a Ken Oforiatta, be you an Eduji, be you Boahin, be you a Roland, be you what? In the superior wisdom of the framers of the 1992 Constitution, they created in it these fair trial rules. And the reason for these fair trial rules is to ensure that any Ghanaian accused of any crime whatsoever should have the benefit of due process. And these rules have been given and elevated to constitutional pedestal. And that should tell you the strength. Again, if you look at Article 14, 15, on the right of a person who is under arrest or any form of investigation, the rights that should be accorded that person. All these constitutional rights have been put in place to ensure that any Ghanaian, regardless of religion, ethnicity, status, should be given that opportunity that they will proffer a defense. Look, Roland, I recall, as defense counsel in the NCA criminal matter in 2017, I remember an episode where we went to court before my Lord Justice Chebafo, now a justice of the Court of Appeal, where in the trial, listen carefully, in the trial, we had to consult our clients in open court whether or not we should object to a piece of evidence that is being offered against them or not, right in open court. So I remember one day, Sunday, I called my brother Randolph Chumesi, and I said, Randolph, the way this trial is going on, it will not help us. Let's do something. I remember drafting an application for discovery. I sent it to my senior Justice Rimsai for his comments, among other seniors. We filed it. We appeared before Justice Chebafo and moved an application for discovery in criminal matters. When we did, the then Attorney General, Madam Gloria Kufu, came to court and they opposed that application. Roland, it took the intervention of my Lord Justice Chebafo, who saw merit in the application and said, look, I'll refer it to the Supreme Court for interpretation and direction. That is what resulted, I'm sure, in the criminal procedure class. They'll tell you the Eugene Bafo-Boni decision on discoveries. That is how we did it. And I remember in that application, the then AG opposition was that allowing discoveries in summary trials was going to be burdensome and others. Today, through that referral by my Lord Justice Chebafo, the Supreme Court today had given direction, said that in all criminal matters, be it at the District Court, Circuit Court, High Court, or whatsoever, the accused person is offered the opportunity of discoveries. That is the kind of growth That is the kind of constitutional development that we've had over the period. Now to the specific issue of Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, and I needed to give these preambles so that we would all appreciate the development that had undertaken by Ghanaians over the period. Look, Roland, Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, from 2017, became the finance minister of this republic until he was replaced by the Honorable Amin Anta. Now get this, the finance minister is the protector, the number one handler of the public purse. Now if you recall, even in the Bible, the parable of the talents, you recall Christ tells us the story of a man who gave talents to his servants. He traveled, came back, and asked those servants, what sayest thou of the talents I've given to you? Accountability. So you notice that when we created this constitution, we provided in it that the governing principles underpinning this constitution shall be: 1, probity, to probe, to ask questions; 2, accountability, to account for your stewardship.
And you're saying this in relation to Ken Ofori-Atta?
Ken Ofori-Atta. So you will notice that the governing principles underlining our current constitutional architecture is probity, accountability, and social justice. The reason for this principle should never be lost on any of us public officers. Not long ago, I had to appear before the Public Accounts Committee, but for some reason, my deputy had to go to account for the work I do. And that's why the name of the committee is what? Public Accounts Committee, accountability. Now, in the specific case of Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta, you have been the person who, for all this period, have signed all onto our monies, committed this government, or the government of the Republic of Ghana, to financial commitments over the period. In fact, the law of what? The Public Financial Management Act is a Ministry of Finance Act. Now you have a situation where you have just been asked, come and account for your stewardship. The public fund that came into your hands, how you utilize it. Initially, we were told that you were not well, and so you needed medical assistance abroad.
His lawyer does indicate that he's recuperating and would only leave the jurisdiction based on his medical practitioner's advice.
You see, there is a statement by the law office of Minka Primo. Read it. You have it. Now, if you read that statement from the law office of Minka Primo, it is the mark of sheer insincerity on the part of Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta. That statement from the law office of Minka Primo puts the Ken Ofori-Atta narrative that he was not well, he was sick, and therefore needed medical attention into a different perspective. Because in that statement by the law offices of Minka Primo, they say Ken Ofori-Atta today is asking the United States authority to change his status. That is insincerity to the highest order.
How is that?
At the time,
because according to the statement, it says that it has a pending petition for adjustment of status.
Can you imagine this?
Is he not entitled to have that right?
That is the height of dishonesty. That is the height of insincerity. At the time, Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta wrote to the former chief of staff, Madame Fremont Parry, to permit him to travel abroad. It was for medical purposes. You get your treatment, you come back. You are now writing to the U.S. officers, and your lawyers have confirmed it, that the reason is that you want to adjust your status. You now want green card. You now want permanent residence. That is the mark of dishonesty. And we should not tolerate this.
Is he not entitled to
what it means is that when he said he was going to the United States of America for medical purposes, it was a ruse to escape from accountability.
That he had other ulterior motives beyond that?
And look, the lawyers for him I wish they never wrote this statement, but it is good for public accounts. Because per this statement, his lawyers voluntarily are now telling the people of this country that Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta now wants green card. He wants permanent residence.
It's not been specified that.
No, but that's what it is. If you went with B1, B2 visas and now you want an adjustment, effectively what you are asking for is you want permanent residence. Why do you think Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta now wants to run away from the properties he had acquired?
I don't understand.
His own house at Labone here. Why is his own house now becoming like a haunting ground? Like a ghost, like ghost haunting him. You see, I have always maintained, and as a public official, I'm always minded about one thing. There is a day, like the Bible, a day for judgment, a day for accountability. So whatever we are doing, we are minded by this sacred thing. Now, you see, the reason why it's important that Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta is made to come back to Ghana to face his stewardship, to account for that stewardship, you know why? It's a lesson to all of us public officials. And Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta has become a bad influence.
How do you mean by a bad influence?
A bad influence in the sense that today, Eduji here, if I'm giving public responsibility, I know tomorrow I will escape from justice.
How so?
I'll run to Togo. I won't go to America.
I'll go to that you're unwell?
Yes. Maybe for me, I'll go for herbal medicine and go to Togo. At least the Atama close and Noche and the rest. So I'll go and stay there. As well. And Benin, the Home Republic, where Agokoli used to be. I mean, that's going back home. Roland, what it tells you is that he had become a bad example for public office holders.
I don't understand. That if you are supposed to account, then you run away.
You run away.
Oh, Eduji.
No, but what is it? And you see, Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta is not just any minister. He was the finance minister. Now look at our political history. From 1992, the Minister of Finance up to 1996 was Mr. Kwesi Botwe, correct?
Yeah, correct, yeah.
Subsequently, it became Richard Kwampepra.
Yeah.
Nana Osafo Mafo. Then Kwejo Baredu, and we've had it till now.
Yeah.
Each one of them stayed in this country to go through the rigors of accountability. See,
but Ken Ofori-Atta is a man who is not accustomed to the environment of the United States. Indeed, went to school there.
You know, Ken Ofori-Atta's own father was a finance minister, Jones Ofori-Atta.
Sure.
After his stewardship, he didn't run away. He stayed in this country. In fact, he was MP.
He subsequently even contested MPP presidential candidate.
Now, you know the intriguing part of this conversation, Roland.
Did you wrap up for me?
I will. Is the fact that Minister Kwampepra went through prosecution. Incidentally, do you know who prosecuted Minister Kwampepra? Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo as Attorney General. Yes. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo as President investigated Mr. Setekwe. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo as President investigated Honorable Ato Forson. In fact, I remember vividly going to Yoko with Honorable Ato Forson in November 2017. In fact, when we went to Yoko
November 2017?
2017, for 4 years, Honorable Ato Forson was never called again by Yoko. You know what happened? E-levy, the budget was read on the 19th November 2021. That had in it e-levy. Ranking on Finance, Honorable Ato Forson raised an issue about the fact that e-levy was going to destroy the entire ecosystem. What happened? On 25th, so budget 25th November 2021, I was there when now Speaker Bagbe called that Yoko had written to him that they should allow Atuoforsen to come back 4 years after an investigation, simply because Ken Ofori-Atta was annoyed that Honorable Atuoforsen had committed on the e-levy. Just then, in Speaker Bagwen's conference room, Ato was charged.
And you represented him?
I was with him there.
You were his lawyer?
I was with him. And for almost 4 years, from 2021, until the Court of Appeal acquitted and discharged him, we were going to court back and forth. So if Minister Atuoforsen can stay in this country for 8 solid years, Minister Setekwe 8 solid years, and went through the full rigors of the law, what is so unique? I have heard the other narrative that it is witch hunting. So far, who has investigated Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta? The Office of the Special Prosecutor, correct? October 2017, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo assented to the act establishing the Office of the Special Prosecutor. Did Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Ken Ofori-Atta, and the NPP in 2017 set up that office to witch hunt people?
I don't understand.
That is the office that is prosecuting and investigating him. And so where from this narrative of witch hunting? Now, I'll conclude finally on this. President John Dramani Mahama, who even became president of this republic, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo wrote to the Office of the Special Prosecutor to investigate him and his family.
What's your point with this?
The point is that even the president, the former president, OSP, went to him, took his statement in the company of his lawyers. Due process. What is so unique about Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta?
I don't understand.
That he cannot.
Is that what you're claiming?
Even a former president, non-minister, former president, went through the full rigors of Ghanaian criminal law and came out clean.
Lawyer Pierre Dankwa.
Does it not, is the impression not being created that if you are running away, it means you have committed some offense?
Who is creating that impression? He hasn't created that impression. Indeed, the onus lies with.
Why do you go for lawyers like
with the prosecution?
Why do you go for lawyers like
to
John?
Prove beyond all reasonable doubt?
Why do you go for lawyers like John Ashcroft and the rest? If everything that you have done is above board.
But he's entitled to legal counsel.
And you see, in the specific case of a finance minister, what makes his role unique is that, like the wife of Caesar, you need to live above reproach. Of all ministers, the one that have direct financial fiduciary responsibility is that of the finance minister. And so I think that it's even in the interest of my brother's political party, the NPP, that Ken Ofori-Atta comes and account. So that in 2028, when you are campaigning, Ghanaians will not believe that if you vote for NPP in a very long future, their finance ministers will run away from accountability.
Dr. Kwekubuahi has joined us. How are you? Where's Ken now?
Ken is in Accra.
Okay.
We're doing the Ayawaso block within this week. What we did is that we didn't finish Greater Accra, and we had to go into Ashanti region and come back.
Okay. So you're combining those two strong regions.
Yes. And then.
What's the response so far?
Oh, it's been good.
Okay.
It's been so massive.
All right.
Yeah.
And his comments as well as his campaign videos are replete on social media as well, particularly TikTok. Fiery.
Yeah. It's going so well.
Pierre Dankwa, the suggestion that, well, he has to come in country for accountability, so to speak, also cannot be justified, is it? Because he hasn't been proven to be guilty or otherwise.
So let me wish you a good morning once again, and to say emphatically that I align entirely with the views shared here, as in so well articulated here by my learned friend Eduji Tamaklo, and to say that over the last between 2017 and 2024, we saw a government that in its dealings, in how it managed Ghana, behaved in a manner or governed Ghana in a manner that was adverse to our common agenda. That was adverse to the values, principles, and ideals clearly stated under our constitution. Because, like Edwin rightly said, one of the very core values that underpinned our 1992 constitution are the values, one of a firm belief in the principles of the rule of law. I know that one of the fundamental principles of the rule of law is a belief that we are all equal before the law. We are all equal before the law. And two, a belief in the principle of probity and accountability. So that on 7 January 2017 and 7 January 2021, when Anadu took his oath of office, among the things he vowed to do was one, to...
I shall protect the public purse.
Even beyond that, he said he was going to protect, defend, and preserve the laws of Ghana. He said he was going to be faithful to Ghana. And that meant that he was going to be faithful to the values of Ghana. One of the core values were the values of probity and accountability. You recall that Nana-Addo made it one of his core political mandates in his bid to protect the public purse, in his bid to uphold the principles of probity and accountability, the creation of the Office of the Special Prosecutor. So in 17 October 2017, right, Nana-Addo assented to the act that created the Office of the Special Prosecutor. I think when he assented to that office, he showed his first act of unfaithfulness. Because he, being an astute lawyer, he knew that to create a body whose purpose was to be independent, to be non-partisan, and to be independent, then that body ought to have been created by an amendment of the Constitution.
Because Article 88?
Because of Article 88, the OSP is not independent. And you see that weakness in the OSP, in how Ken's case was issued, as it has been handled.
You mean the SML case?
All the cases that the OSP, this current OSP, were cases that were done before February 2024. Because Ken resigned February 2024. I find it strange. I find it very strange that it had to take more than almost 2 years before charges were preferred against Ken. And you see, when Ken was leaving Ghana, the OSP was aware. He didn't do anything. I think I said it here. It's very strange that the OSP suddenly has the cojones to bring charges against Ken. But he will do that because, in my view, there's absolutely no commitment to hold Ken himself accountable. That's what Ken, I don't want to talk about him. Because clearly he's running away. You understand? Clearly he's running away.
He's running, huh?
Oh, he's running away.
The narrative is that he's entitled to...
Listen, he's running away.
Petition the United States for his visa status.
You see, in January, when Ken wrote the letter to the chief of staff, or when the OSP came out, Ken, in that letter, said he was leaving Ghana indefinitely. No, so. Indefinitely.
For medical treatment.
Indefinitely. That's what he said. That was a clear intention that, listen, I'm leaving your jurisdiction. I have created a hole worth $97 million. I'm leaving your country. I have masterminded the SML deal. Millions of dollars lost the state. I'm leaving your country. PDS. I've sat down and masterminded PDS. I'm leaving your country. I'm leaving your country. I won't come clearly. But you see, when it comes to upholding the principles of probity and accountability, yes, that duty falls on all public officials. But the institutions created to uphold those values failed us. Have you heard of the Obotan case? You know about the Obotan case?
Very well.
Are you not concerned that in spite of the Obotan case, in 2021, Ken was passed by the Parliament of Ghana to continue being a minister? Were you not worried? Even when he had 137.
Well, he went through the process.
And were you not worried that he was allowed to sail to...
Was it Suhini also who brought up...
Were you not
during
allowed...
the we ignored it.
You understand? Because see, we've created the institution to uphold the principles of probity and accountability. It is for those purposes why we took upon ourselves a constitutional democracy. Constitutional democracy simply means that what? Limiting powers of government. Yeah, I understand. So the executive does not have all the powers. We gave Parliament powers to serve as a check on the executive. To uphold the principle of probity and accountability. And in spite of that, our Parliament sat down and passed Ken when clearly we had the Bhutan case. That meant that when it came to the question of integrity, he had something to answer. The question of integrity. He had something to answer. And yet Parliament sat down and allowed. Now, there's something that the NDC is doing very well. Because you see, I say so many times here, that we do not give executive powers to the political party. We give executive powers to an individual. However, that individual is sponsored by a political party. And he's sponsored by the political party with the understanding that he's going to uphold the values and principles of that political party. And so there is a duty on the political party that where the president you sponsored is delivering a governance system, is delivering governance, one, which is adverse to the country, two, which is adverse to the party's stated principles, then the party has an obligation to call that government out. You recall that last year, the chairman of the NDC, Esedu Nketia, called some judge to order on some issues. You've heard the general secretary of the NDC. And I must commend him for his stance he's taken. You understand? That he's not going to support any three-term agenda. Okay. So that is a responsible party. The MPP,
94 MP.
The MPP sat down and allowed Nana-Addo to deliver, together with Ken, you understand, to deliver governance which, in all intents and purposes, was adverse to the interest of the country. You understand? Indeed, then those 94 MPs showed their dishonesty to the country. Because, you see, you claim that you want the finance minister out because he's not working for the interest of the country. Should it matter that members of the minority, when they've taken steps, you understand, to remove, what's it called, the said minister you claim was not good for the country, and immediately the minority take those steps, you suddenly go and support or oppose the attempt to remove. So then, what is your interest? Is your interest Ghana? And so what was the honesty or integrity in your call on the president to remove the minister? The MPP did this country a massive evil. Massive evil. Without this whole...
Being what?
Exactly. This all can, and I'm telling you that, so they are one.
Because he hasn't been charged with any...
He's been charged. Ken
criminal
charges, except that they haven't served him. But I'm saying that, you see, we sat down and allowed this man, and we all claimed was not good for the country, and evidence are there. You have the case of the DDEP, the fact that some monies were taken from our pockets. You have the criminal manner in which our economy was run for 8 years under his watch.
You see, me, I would even urge caution on this note, that as learned friends, he's going to get the benefit of due process. You come, Keke, you come. Let's use brass band and things to go and meet you at the airport.
But you see, there's an onus. There's an onus. There's an onus on government. There's an onus on government to uphold the principles of probity and accountability. There's a duty on government.
Through the Attorney General.
And the OSP, whatever. Because, you see, it's not just about Ken coming, but you must, first of all, we were criminally negligent in allowing him to leave the jurisdiction in the first place. But he having left, right now we are jubilating because the USA are not taking action they are taking because of Ghana. They are taking the action they are taking. They are revoking. In fact, the Attorney General is claiming
of clear breaches.
No. I think that we should set that record straight. I know on authority that the Attorney General of the Republic of Ghana reached out to the U.S. Embassy. The U.S. Embassy reached out to the State Department. The State Department revoked the license, specifically revoked the visa. There was a specific revocation.
Okay.
And then they permitted him that, well, you can come back voluntarily. It is when he failed by November that in January the 6th.
Then engendered this.
Exactly. So there has been specific intervention by government of Ghana.
So if you listen to the Attorney General on Saturday, he made a claim that they revoked his visa June 2025. Yeah, it was in July, actually. Now he refused to give the reasons for those revocation.
No, it's because of the pending.
But in that interview, he refused to give. But having said that, like I'm saying, we have failed government. When I say government here, it's not about MPP or NDC, because like I said, Ken Ofori-Atta left office February 2024. Government sat down and allowed Ken to leave. Simple, what's it called, extradition action. There's a massive back and forth on it. As if there's no commitment on the part of government. Yes, because OSP is government, for instance. You recall the Deputy Attorney General having issues with the OSP's refusal to give them dockets so that they can facilitate extradition, processes. You understand? So for me, for Ken, he's running away. He's told you he's running away. He doesn't want to come. So you can call on Ken. His lawyers have told you clearly that the man, he won't come clearly. But the onus is on governments to do all in their power, you understand, in fulfillment of their mandates, to be upholders of the principles and values of probity and accountability, to get Ken here so that he accounts. Otherwise, you heard the MPP, one of the MPP officials saying on Saturday that there's nothing in
MPP official?
I don't remember his name, but there's nothing in our laws that mandates that.
Roland, you are the moderator. Kindly read here for me. The preamble.
Let me finish on this. Let me finish.
Read the preamble.
We all heard an NDC senior man say that there's nothing in the laws of Ghana.
I mean MPP.
MPP. As MPP. What did I say?
NDC.
Oh, no, it's not NDC.
Please conclude for me.
We all heard the MPP. In fact, is it Mesa? Itapa Mesa. Say that there's nothing in the laws of Ghana that mandates us to hold political leadership accountable.
Oh, how?
Yeah, he said it over the weekend. You understand? But those statements will have sway if we do not set a clear precedent with Ken Ofori-Atta's matter.
Maybe we have made
so the preamble, what's the essence of reading that?
Please read
okay.
here.
So the preamble, it says, in the spirit of friendship and peace with all peoples of the world, then in solemn declaration and affirmation of our commitment to freedom, justice, probity, and accountability.
Fantastic.
Why is okay, I've got your point now. But Dr.
There's
Tsubwany,
clear understanding of what he said.
Maybe
the lawyers.
No, it's not misconstrued.
Those who tend to support him. Hearing it's not everyone within even the opposition MPP that seem to be backing the narrative. Say that he's entitled to, well, whether change his immigration status or make a decision that you can try me in absentia because I have my legal team to respond to whatever allegations or charges that will be leveled against me in court. And rightfully, going by the same constitution, he's entitled to that, is he not?
Good morning to our good selves and then good morning to our viewers. And good morning to the Apostolic Church, Ghana, my area church, North Canadian Assembly. Good morning to everyone. And
You're an Assemblies of God, man?
No,
Apostolic Church.
Yes, Ghana. Apostle. And good morning to my constituency at University of Education, Winnipeg. Special regards to everyone. School has reopened, and I'm hopeful that, as usual, we are going to deliver, to the best that our students can gain from us. Roland, I think that from day one, I've maintained this position.
What's your position? I don't remember your position.
That Ken should come to Ghana on his free will, present his charges, or probably defend his charges, And if he feels that he's still not well and may want to go and then continue with the self-care, he could seek the permission of the courts. As it were, allow his lawyers to handle the case whilst he's absent. I think I made that point clear on this platform. And I think that some other people have echoed that position, that Ken, in his own best interest, should come. At least if you believe that you have not committed any crime, there's no point, for you to sit in another man's country, for you to go through, such processes to the point that, immigration and custom enforcement agencies would have to apprehend you, put you in custody, And from what we have heard from the AG's office, it appears that there is a kind of collaboration between his office and the United States, immigration enforcement agencies, to get his visa revoked and probably facilitate, his extradition to Ghana. I feel that, for me, Ken, I still maintain that position, that if he would come to Ghana on his free will, to face whatever charges, it will be good. It will be very good for his own image.
Why is that important or critical to the narrative, so to speak?
Yes, so my point is that, look, Edwiji was trying to make a point that, look, some kind of precedent is being set that if he, as a CEO, if he embezzles or he is, alleged to have been involved in some level of underdealings.
As an appointee or public officer.
Exactly. He can run to Togo. You understand? And, when it gets to that point, then what...
The Akano border.
Yes. Akano border. Okay. But you will not go through Aplau.
I'll just enter like that.
Aplau will be dangerous for you. Yeah.
Or I'll go through Nkwanta.
Then
they are saying.
That is unapproved. That is unapproved.
So I prefer the unapproved one.
So you see,
Akano is unapproved.
I am of the belief that for his own image, his own credibility, for the sake of the MPP party, I believe that he could come and make a case for himself. You see, this is also one thing. I think you asked about the significance of whatever is happening to the narrative now. I mean, it is one thing that every public officer in Ghana, within this current government, and other subsequent governments that will come, should take lessons from. The point is that is why the Constitution of Ghana or, government find it necessary to pay the appointees very well. And some of them have other benefits, other allowances for their house helps and all that. And so if you are paid very well, the wisdom is that you serve this country and serve this country very well. All right. And it's also very important for us to note that as a public officer, your first responsibility is to the state. And so every decision that you are taking it for the good of the people. All right. And so if you pick a decision where, you know, the nation will not benefit, people will not benefit, and it causes some level of injury, you know, to the states, and it brings personal benefits to you, then of course you are putting your interest first. In that case, if you are not careful, you'll be tried. All right, charges will be preferred against you, of which probably you may feel that you are not answerable. But of course, we've seen, you know, is it causing financial loss to the states? Some time ago, right?
It is still on our books.
Okay. So I believe that in the best interest of whoever is serving in this government, I think that you need to look beyond your personal interest. And you need to focus on Ghana as a nation. And so a decision that you take, you know, should bring that kind of benefit, progress to this country. I believe strongly that for now, if you check whatever discussion that is going on, all the debates, obviously it is clear that I wouldn't say that the majority of the MPP people, you know, are in defense of Kenoforiata. But then that suggests that, look, if you are in government and then you conduct yourself in such a way that almost everybody, you know, within your own circles believe that you didn't do the right thing. Of course, when there's problem, no one defends you, all right? And so that is why I like it when
have you also observed that that seemed to be the case?
I'm coming. Let me. The president, John Dramani Mahama, has said that, look, if you misconduct yourself, you are alone.
That is if you are his appointee.
Exactly. You are alone. All right. And I want to see that, look, that pronouncement, that public pronouncement, which has been backed by the General Secretary of the NDC, anyone who misconducts himself, okay, should equally be dealt with.
But he has the record of prosecuting his own. Yes. There's Abuga Pele who even went to jail, etc.
I know. Okay. I know. But you see, that was in the previous government, isn't it? The first term. Okay. So coming into this term, we want to see that kind of action being enforced. All right. And with this record of Abuga Pele, okay, I am saying that the 2025, you know, governments, you know, should still hold on to this particular, you know, belief that he is a president who stands by his word, and that his appointees, you know, should also know. I have followed certain directions, and I am tempted to believe that the president this term is not just sitting in his office and, you know, delivering governance. But I know and I've heard that he meets his appointees from time to time. And any time that they meet, he signals them about being careful on issues of corruption. All right. And Roland, if you have checked carefully, for the past 5 elections, corruption has always been one of the first 3 reasons why people vote. You understand? It's either it becomes the leading factor, or sometimes the second or the third factor. And that means that Ghanaians are not happy with government officials who misconduct themselves relating to, you know, corruption and all that. The dangers of corruption to this country is enormous. All right. And you can see the amount of monies, where you say to Roland, you know the amount of money that we lose, every year or during every term of a government through corruption. If these monies can be saved and channeled into development, I think that we wouldn't be where we are as a country. We probably might have gone ahead, might have reduced unemployment, might have, implemented certain policies, that will lift Ghana up to the next level. Again, you see, I want to see, an era where government officials, can probably come to a table like this and probably say that this is what I've done, that is what I've done. I've been able to save X amount of money, during my tenure of office, and then be more accountable to the people of Ghana. If not, you could always go through the Accountant General's Department, issue your expenditure, your books, for publication. And that will add some level of respect and credibility to your image, as lawyer Eduji. All right. And I think last week there was some posts, I think on one of the online, platforms, asking for who your best appointee or minister is for the first 1 year in office. All right. And you see, some of these things, when done, when you submit yourself to purposes of accountability, purposes of probity, and social justice, right? It actually lifts your image, and people will begin to respect you and all that. And you wouldn't go through such, ridicule when you leave office. I am not saying that Ken Ofori-Atta has committed crime A or crime B, because as at now, he has not been charged.
Yeah.
Even though I hear that there are some cases that he's being tried in absentia in Ghana. I don't know how truthful it is. I mean, when I was following this platform on Saturday, I think that someone made that case that, there are certain cases in there. But I believe that Ken should in any way be able to come to Ghana, not to be deported, but he should be able to come.
Okay.
And then on his free will, face whatever child that
Dr.
is against him.
Yes, sir.
Ken Ofori-Atta. I've seen a number, Obama Pukwase even writes that he doesn't care. All white worrying. A number of people don't seem to, even from the MPP itself.
I understand Ken had promised that he will bring him back if he's giving the MPP flag.
Who? Kenny Japan?
Yeah.
He hasn't said that. He's committing you. This one, wrong political communication message. Don't fall for it.
Don't fall for this one.
But just give me your 2 cents quickly, so I'll move on to the next one.
Good morning. Ken has not said
the Ken member. My co-panelist here. And then to the good people of Amasaman. My coordinators back in Amasaman, Prince, Udru, Prince Dakon, and Alaji Arafa, Congo Soldier, I call him. They've been good with respect to
they're part of the Ken camp?
Yes, in Amasaman constituency. They've done so well. I will do AJ, Munagodi Love, all of you have been so
Your time
massive.
is good. You're doing shout out.
In our output out there. It's rather unfortunate what happened on Tuesday when some of my coordinators were handled by the other people, but this is...
I think we need to find the time to discuss the MPP primaries.
And then I wish...
How many days more?
It's 19 days.
So your people were beaten, eh?
I wish Alaji Arafa speedy recovery.
Internal politics.
Let me come back to you.
So is it Brian Camp that's beating the Ken Camp or Baumiao?
It was actually an unnecessary incident. Okay. That's true.
MPP beating.
Next week we'll discuss that.
MPP beating you.
Please go ahead. Please, Ken Ofori-Atta.
See, this Ken Ofori-Atta's arrest, actually for us, has for me, as a person, it has a significant implications for Ghana's governance, actually, particularly in the fight against corruption. It's a test towards our transparency, our accountability, and then I believe that his arrest on the 6th of January was as a result of an application that was actually done by the Minister for Justice, that as part of us, Ghana trying to get the US to repatriate him, to extradite him back into Ghana. It was written, and then they actually revoked his visa, the US visa, back in July 2025. And it was given out until 29th of November to whether sort it out or leave US and come back home. Our elders have an adage. They say, you baby, I co baby.
So we need to US.
Kudos one in trouble and yen.
Oh, Sana former finance minister. Down.
It is Daniel Amachi, they had this song on the same thing.
Yeah. So you see, it does make a lot of sense that a former finance minister of Ghana languished in the detention of Caroline detention facility in Virginia because his visa has been revoked, and instead of coming back into Ghana, he still feels, charges his lawyers to apply for an extension on medical grounds, which I know the court is going to sit on this on Monday, next week Monday, on the 20th January in the US, and then they will look at this. But then for me, the implications are straightforward. You see, accountability-wise, that it shows that we as a people must be ready to account for our stewardship. You see, the very moment you took a public office to protect our money, to control the finances of Ghana, you should be ready that when the day of reckoning comes, when you are called upon to come and account for whatever that you did in government, you don't run away from it. It baffles me why Nana Oforiatta will go through all these things. This is Ghana. Why is he running away from Ghana? His family, his father, his brothers, they are all here. So what shadows are there? You see, his lawyers in the affidavit are saying that the political witch hunting and then all that. Listen, let us be blunt with ourselves. If there are witches, they must be hunted.
Really?
Yes.
Is it your position, or is
that is my position?
Ken Camp
position? This is my personal position. I have said it on a number of occasions here on this platform. That for me, but for me, I believe that if you've taken up,
when there's a witch in your family,
you must handle it. Yes. If there are witches, we must handle them. But then, if he has not done anything, why is he running away from his own shadows? You see, we as a, yes, let me say it bluntly, I've always said it, that my sympathy, my family is the NPP, and I will not run away from it. Okay? We must call on Nana Oforiatta to come back and account for his stewardship in the best interest of NPP.
Why?
We commit a very big blunder if we appoint people, and when it is time for people to account for whatever positions they held in Ghana, and then they'll find themselves out of Ghana on some flimsy excuses. As yes, if he's not well, he can seek medical attention. But then, has it not been too long a time?
No, even the letter from his lawyer, is to the effect that the man is changing his status of a green card or the heading.
He needs to come.
No, change your status, green card.
Whether we like it or yes.
Even the beginning said he's going interfere.
Whether we like it or yes, public trust.
He has to come.
The trust of Ghanaians.
Would you leave lecturing job to go for green card?
Oh, no.
The trust of Ghanaians. A lot of Ghanaians out there are watching. Yeah. They are listening.
Especially young people.
Yes. And then they want to know what will be the implication, the integrity of our institution, the political party. Hey. They are watching. Why? Listen, Ghana is what we sign on to serve. Okay. Ghana is what we sign on to protect our public purse, to protect the integrity of Ghana. So if one person would bring us down, we need to call him to come and account for his stewardship. I believe that if there is nothing, if he has done nothing, why is he running away from his own shadows? Doc, Prof, catch it.
No, but
and you see, I know the lawyers he already has here in Ghana who are willing and able to defend.
When we talk about that,
this
extradition process thing that we're talking about is an issue of where we seeing that probably the charges that have been made against him, you need to show evidence. Yeah. And if your evidence is not strong, do you think the U.S. would have revoked his visa?
It means that in their preliminary assessment, they see there's merit.
There's merit. That is why they revoked his visa. It was just not revoked. And then in any of these things, you need the U.S. to cooperate with you. And then U.S. government will have to, the name of this game is evidence. Yeah. And if your evidence is strong, it means the U.S. will act. And that is why we have come this far. Is it next week on the 20th? If I think that he should just call his lawyers and then do the needful. Come back to Ghana and answer these charges.
But Roland, do you know that some other MPP, people who have been charged, have sat down with the AG, to discuss,
agree
on certain terms.
All right.
And I hear that there's some.
Let me discuss the finance ministry, please.
And Roland,
finance ministry.
So we'll do the finance.
Yeah, they paid $1.4 billion.
Yes, like I said,
to clear Ghana's energy debts.
Producers. And the beautiful thing with our system of governance is that the criminal charges are not going to be decided in Ahimfie.
Okay, please put it on.
It's not a mob justice. You go to court. Your lawyers will apply for bail. What can a judge do than to grant you bail? So then the case will take its normal course.
So this is energy enough.
Is there?
So all of you say that you should come.
No. The thing is that
you say you should come.
Me, I've said it from the one.
You too.
If your records,
what do you say?
If your records, Roland,
I ask questions.
Roland, if your records, is anything,
Roland is among the people who believe that there is no law on accountability in Ghana. Are you? I am putting it.
No, I'm not one of those.
Very well.
The Ministry of Finance has.
So you agree that he shouldn't come?
Now it's your turn. You are questioning me. You're putting me in the corner.
When the hunter becomes
so the Finance Ministry, based on instruction, has paid $1.47 billion to clear the energy sector debt, restore World Bank guarantee within first year. And this is based on assurances from the president at the time that he was sworn into office. It was signed to guarantee payments to project partners, particularly when it comes to all the relevant partners. A partial risk guarantee established in 2015 under the previous government, and then also subsequently to make sure the private sector, when it comes to energy, was not undermined. And the bulk. We also have the independent power generators or producers also issuing a statement to confirm the settlement. And they say they particularly recognize the strategic role played by the Ministry of Finance in mobilizing and deploying this as a significant resources to the power players. Just 4 minutes on this, please.
Today, I have never done this before.
4 minutes.
Today, I just want to stand up and salute my sector minister, Honorable John Abdullahi Jinapo. Immediately, he took over as Minister for Energy. He put up a team to meet the independent power producers, to negotiate with them, and even beyond the payment, there had been significant savings that were made under the able leadership of the Honorable John Abdullahi Jinapo. Today, the record of the energy sector is stability. Yes, these independent power producers today, their bankers and everything are short. You know, in the finance minister's statement, he made a very profound, revelation, which has to do with the World Bank guarantee for those projects and the drawdowns. For 8 years, the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, economic management team led by Dr. Bawumia and co, were just drawing down on the guarantee. Today, we have restored the guarantee to good health. And not only that, we have paid in excess of $300 million to the independent power producers. Car Power, AXA, Early Power, Senate, all of them have been paid significant monies. And to further demonstrate that what Minister Atoforsin said is not a lie, the Chamber of Independent Power Producers, the IPPG or something, they have issued a statement this morning confirming the significant payment. Do you know that by reason of this payment alone, even the banks will also be paid? Persons who supply fuel and others to the independent power producers, they also be paid. So the impact of this $1.4 billion payment, and people are asking, what was happening? What was happening?
No, but isn't also true that if you're able to manage the rate, the forex, in a way that there's continuous stability for some time, then you'll be in a position to...
Who did that work? Who did that work? Is it not John Mohammed's leadership? That's why yesterday I saw some theatrics. One of your flag bearers, one of the aspirants, and they were saying that they were doing people's... What is happening? No room for gendarme. This time around, we are very focused, and I conclude on this. Look, you remember one minority leader saying that the cedi is stable because we are not paying, and government is not spending.
Yes.
All these monies, what are they? They are expenditure.
You mean the minority leader said that?
Osahini. Oh, okay, my senior at the bar. And look at what he said. That it is because government is not spending. Look at the monies that we put into energy alone. And so when President Mahama, with the support of the good people of this country, with the 1 cedi, you remember?
The 1 cedi. Yeah.
The 1 cedi.
The 1 cedi that we discussed here.
Yes, significantly. All of these have together resulted in this massive payment, the legacy debts and everything. And I think, Roland, you should applaud President Mahama for this. Aban Papa Abba. Thank you.
According to the independent power producers, this is going to free up the space, and then also their debt obligations will be met. You know, their creditors this year are on their neck, and according to the statements, potentially also means that it restores financial stability for the producers.
So what I'm going to say, when I said that Nana Addo and his people handled the economy criminally, Eduji didn't want me to say it, but there's evidence.
But sustainability is needed.
So you first of all,
you know, in the beginning, they said the cedi it will not be sustainable.
In fact,
now 1 year
in fact,
has passed.
even beyond that, last year January by this time. No, last year January by this time. No, last year January by this time. Last year January by this time, we were made to believe that Dumso was going to kick us to start. You all recall? Last year by this time.
Meetings back and forth to meet.
No, the MPP government, some elements in the MPP made us to believe that immediately His Excellency John Mahama took over office, Dumso was going to start. No, so. Now, what even amazes me is all these massive achievement has been done without us going to borrow any money. You understand? It tells you that the black man, after all, is capable of managing his own affairs only if you have commitment. Because like I said, the biggest problem we had, the biggest issue we had, were people who took over this government and had an agenda which was adverse to our common agenda.
They went for Esla bond, Dachi bond, every bond,
and then
bond.
You understand? They did energy sector recovery program. Came up with some plenty, and they did address to what the energy sector recovery program. You understand? Now you are asking for sustainability. Okay, so they must continue doing what they are doing. You understand? One, the role of government in every economy is in two folds: the monetary policy and what's called the fiscal policy. We are saying we are attributing the radical gains made to a reduction in the appreciation of the city. You understand? So whatever they are doing, they should do it, and we should support them. Now, one last thing: this year won't allow for Jandam. Like he said, he mentioned him. Eduji is very charitable. You know, I'm not saying I'm not a gentleman, or maybe he's more of a gentleman than I am. But over the weekend, we heard Dennis Mirakosabachi say that
the People's Forum.
Yeah, you understand?
Pure gendarme.
No, you see.
Ghana was hard.
See,
they brought those who sold force.
So listen, it is.
Spare parts dealers.
You know, I've defined politics. I've quoted Aristotle. The reason we do politics is to create a strong state. Now that means that even you in opposition, because you're doing politics, you must have that focus in mind. So you must do what? Responsible opposition. You must not condemn or oppose for opposition's sake. Said that what? Facts are sacred, but comments are free. These are factual issues. The fact is, in spite of the dire economic situation we were in, what's called the independent contractors, they have been paid. In spite of the dire economic situation we were in, what's called government has restored the guarantee. So we recommend government for this. And like we said, whatever it is that they are doing, they must continue doing the same.
Sustainability. What would be your clarion call? Because usually we go on this thread, maybe election year, we just go off tangent.
Yeah, so for me, goodwill has been shown, right? And I think that when we were discussing about, some time ago, that 1 cedi on the liter, I did some mathematics in here. And then I think that Eduji and his people understood it. Obviously, we are seeing some good signs. So for me, it's about accountability, that probably will lead to sustainability. Obviously, this debt should be cleared, and that Ghana will be free from this kind of mess
forever,
that we are facing, so that any other government that comes can equally build, on the legacies that has been left. But if it turns out that whatever is being taken from consumers, whatever increases that consumers are sacrificing to pay, end up in the pockets of certain individuals, and it is not used for the purpose and intentions with which these taxes and monies were collected, then of course it will be a great disservice to the country. I believe that the government has stated that it is building a Ghana that we all want. All right. And so what the desires of Ghanaians is that we will not be going through doomsday. We will not be going through, any, light off and experiencing power crisis and all that. Remember that industries, would flourish. Manufacturing would perform when there is stable, energy. Energy brings about, free movements of goods and services, and it takes away, extra charges that consumers will be paying and all that. So these are issues that the government should bear in mind and ensure that they go ahead to clear the debts, that we have within the sector, so that the independent power producers would also be free to produce energy for us, and then Ghana, will not go through such crisis again. Okay,
Dr. Edubwai, what do you make of this sustainability, making sure that we don't derail what the whole economic policy is? Making sure the fiscal regime is also as tight as it should be, rationalization.
For me, I think it's a good thing that when you owe, you need to finance them and then ensure that you pay your debt. So for financial stability and an international confidence in our system is worthy of note that the ministry has come up with this. But I'm not surprised, because when you make significant gains with respect to our surge in the sale of gold, and then the ministry, the Bank of Ghana releasing about $10 billion into the system. Yeah. Some of these things, like I mentioned the last time when we were here, and then you didn't understand where I was going ahead in, that the money that were being released by the Bank of Ghana, the 10 billion to support the system, is to also assure some of these creditors that we have the money to pay, and then we'll make sure that we pay you. And exactly what I predicted, that is what is happening now. That almost about 1.4 billion out of it has been ceded to paying all these people. In fact, even the World Bank's World Bank is also entitled to a part. Almost about $500 million going to the World Bank partial risk guarantees, and then the 480 million.
You guys depleted it
to ENI and Vitol. You see, so definitely, the very moment we are making some money and gains out of the forex, we should be able to be sorting some of these things out. So it's a good thing. I think sustaining it and then our finances is what I'm looking at. But then insofar as we still have gold sold at $149,000 per kilo on the world market, yes, we are destined to make more money. And then I pray government will put it to a very good use.
Are you saying that they should clear with the proceeds coming from gold?
Oh, but whether we like it or yes, we are making as much as almost $10 billion from gold now. So definitely we have funds. We have the finances to pay and settle some of these debts, which should not be on our books anymore. And all right. I think it's a good thing that they do, but then they should also. Now I know when you talk about this, LBG will say we have started bit by bit. But then a lot of the young ones out there need jobs.
What do you want LBG to do?
LBG should appeal to the presidency that the unemployment situation in Ghana is becoming a canker.
So when you were chopping the partial guarantee, now what do you think?
All right, thank you, gentlemen.
One fan creative job.
Okay.
Okay, gentlemen. Okay, gentlemen. Thank you.
But Roland,
yes,
yes, sir. This is a very significant feat. The payment of the 1.4 billion to resolve the energy sector problem is a very significant achievement.
The legacy debt.
And I think that the people who put this together, the finance minister, the minister for energy, the officials involved, and more importantly, the patience of the independent power producers we need to applaud them for accepting some of the negotiations and the savings that had to happen to keep our energy sector this stable. And I want to thank them personally for the intervention. And President Mahama, of course, whose leadership has ensured all this. And it tells you, bottom line, that leadership is everything.
Yeah.
Leadership is everything.
All right. So I have a couple of I have a couple of messages. I see Newday Gatukwe, and then also Prince Nani York is also on our stream, a number of you as well. I wish that we could make sure we block some of these. Is it the scammers who tend to say they are selling data on our stream? They tend to well, prevent us from reading the messages and then the posts of our various viewers when they come through. All right. So I have a number of messages. Newday Gatukwe says that we've not been hearing of government servicing debt in the previous government, but today the majority of Ghanaians are happy with all these positive results. And Ato Kwamina Aiken says that for the first time in Ghana's political history, the government is calm, focused and in control, while the opposition is under pressure and scrambling for relevance. Just look at what was organized by way of a forum, they say, yesterday. Prince Nani Ayok says, I give a standing ovation to the president on the economy. Ghana could be better if corruption is reduced and there's no room to steal with good leadership. And you can see, you say prudence is everything. This one is coming from Kwekwe. He says that I was expecting the MPP MPs to go and picket at the premises of ISO in the US, because that's what they've been doing here in Ghana when one of their members are arrested. All right. And then also have this one from Kenzie. Kenzie says that if Ken Ofori-Atta knows very well that he did nothing wrong to hurt the financial conscience of Ghana, why is he running away from Ghana? Or why is he running away from coming to Ghana? By hook or crook, he should be brought down to face trial based on accusations and charges, you say. Simon Perez says that we are highly expecting Ken Ofori-Atta to come to Ghana. And you also say that you like the submission of Eduji Tamaklo on the subject as well. Michael Bodua Simeni says that please tell Eduji that we, the people of Pandua Lawyer, are proud of him. Can he assure us that Ken Ofori-Atta will be brought back to Ghana to account for his stewardship?
I used to, you know, Bishop Emma, I used to work from Alloy. Michael.
Oh, really? I see. Wanante. It's a birthday of Nanaraba Kukua of the Ministry of Youth and Sports. Happy birthday to you, Nana Araba Kukua of the Ministry of Youth and Sports. And Mejina Kwesi says I should read this, otherwise I'll be in trouble. So Mejina Kwesi says, if Ken Ofori-Atta is wanted by the laws of Ghana, then he should be brought back to Ghana to face the law. No former minister is above accountability. When the state makes allegations against you, the right thing is to return home and respond, not to stay outside the country and refusing to come back naturally, then raises public suspicion. That's Mejina Kwesi. And gentlemen, thank you for passing through. And thank you for coming as well. I hope to see you same time next week if you have the time. Seth Abloso said, Ghana could have been spared the wahala in the back and forth with Ken Ofori-Atta if the Parliament of Ghana had not approved his nomination as finance minister. The incontrovertible evidence that attests to his inability to hold public office abounds in the forensic audit on SNATE 2021, specific to the Obotan developers case, as well as the transfer of SSB bank shares to Societe Generale.
There were too many red flags.
Seth Abloso, Accra. And Alhaji Nuruddin, you are the lead driver, or the chief driver for business mogul Ibrahim Mahama of Engineers and Planners. Wishing you all the best as well, including Pai Fianku, who is the finance boss for engineers and planners. Wishing you all the best for the day. Prince Henry Akwesiata has also sent messages as well as many as well. Thank you, gentlemen, for passing through.
You know, Baumia is leading Ken.
No,
Baumia is leading Ken in the polls. In your poll,
the Musa Dankwa poll.
Musa Dankwa poll,
and my polls.
and your polls as well.
Oh. No, he's just started.
Hey, no, but in all of this, I'm not just my good friend.
So
Professor,
Baumia and Ken, who's leading?
No, your friend, Professor Smart Sapon.
Yes.
Oh no, he's here to come with.
No, he came out with something and then he said, in this series, if Ken watches well, he will win.
No, he actually said that Ken is leading in 3 regions.
All right, Justice Awute, University of Ghana, wishing you all the best. Now, if you want to look smart and fashionable, make sure you visit any Woodin boutique nationwide today. Woodin is offering an amazing collection of authentic African fabrics all ready to wear, all coming in beautiful designs and colors for men and women. With Woodin, you also get to be creative and versatile with your designs. You also get to be confident and show off how truly African you are in Woodin. Go to a Woodin boutique near you today and get to choose from their variety of trendy products, all meant to complement your style. So go onto social media, go search for Woodin Fashion, all right, and look at what their offerings are. And we're also telling you, very important as well, because this is coming from a number of key service providers. But look, 2026 is the year to travel. You also get to explore and experience more. Global Wings Travel Tours, in partnership with Media General, is inviting you to experience the best of Malaysia and Singapore from this April. Enjoy 9 unforgettable days with return flights, luxury hotels in Kuala Lumpur and Singapore, daily meals, visa facilitation, city tours, Genting Highlands with cable rides. Now, they also have inter-country transfers and so much more, all at your beck and call. So the question is, why do you want to wait? Make this April 2026 Malaysia and Singapore trips a reality for you. This is how you need to get on board. You have to call the numbers 055 01 88181 or 055 3688 398. Make sure you do that today. All right, we're taking a break. We'll be right back.
Starts for the Ghanaian because, you know, when you're bought with such huge amount of money, you have to justify
There's a lot of pressure on you.
Yeah. And just the day after the deal was formalized, he started in the FA Cup game against Exeter City, albeit, yes, it was slightly or maybe a lot more inferior opponent compared to Manchester City. But at the end of the day, you cannot discount the efforts of Antoine Semenyo. He ended up providing an assist and then scoring his first goal for the club as well. It's very important to get off the ground running early.
Yeah.
And he's done exactly just that as well. So it's a good start for him. As you mentioned, he's now the most expensive Ghanaian footballer in history. So it comes with its own pressure. And hopefully he's able to stand above that as well. But Pep Guardiola, he was suspended for the game against Exeter City, and in the end it was his assistant Pep Lingers who took charge of the game, and he was at the sidelines, and he was full of praise for the Ghanaian after the match.
One is settling well. He's a humble guy. We follow him for a long time, but he brings something to the front line. What we really want and what we need. He can attack quick. He wants to chase. He's a guy who doesn't stop, and I think you see today that he can adapt quite quick as well to our style. It's nice to have him with us.
Nice to have him with us. That's so nice. Sounds very welcoming.
Yeah. Good stuff for him, and we're hoping for more of the same. But Semenyo is just about starting. One other player who is approaching the twilight of his career, Andrea Yu. He's nowadays playing his trade in the Dutch Eredivisie, and he also recently signed for NAC Breda, where he had been inactive after his contract with Le Havre expired last season. And so he joined them in the winter transfer window, and he had the opportunity to make his debut as well, coming up in the second half against Groningen FC. And in the end, he did, it was just 34 minutes that he had to play, and it wasn't really much expected from him. And at age 36, and the fact that he's been inactive for a very long time, you don't really expect him to hit the ground running. But Andre himself admits that he is not 100% yet, and he's trying his best to climb up the fitness ladder quickly.
All right. So, but really, he's working towards, we'll bring you that very shortly, he's working towards getting to 100%, but can he at 36?
It's always tricky. And, in the interview, he does mention that playing games, training games, and training separately is very different to official games. When he was in Ghana, he was playing every morning with Nania FC, his dad's team, playing games, training, and all of that. But it is very different. The intensity, especially when you're joining in a season where they've already had preseason, matches have already been played, they're up there in terms of match sharpness. So, age is not on his side, but also the fact that he didn't have an early start, it makes it really difficult for him. But what he does have is experience. Indeed. And when you play as a forward, sometimes you don't need to do as much physically. It's all about making sure that your brain works faster. So that you're able to capitalize on that and ensure that you still gain an advantage.
Okay, so let's watch him exactly what he told the press.
With the team, with the coach, number one, the scouts, CEO, director, everyone, I could see the desire, the willingness for me to join. Yes, I was speaking with different clubs around the world, but there was something that I felt here with a big fan base also. With this club who has a big name, we have players like Mathieu Amo, others who have made their name here. There's my little brother Kamal here, Dennis here. But I think it was just a nice discussion we had, and I was very pleased and happy with the project, and for also what I want and what I'm looking for. I think this is the perfect place when I look at the fan base, when I look at the style of play and everything. So I looked at everything, and the club showed me a lot of determination, and I showed it back, and we are going for this 6 months to make sure.
I'm just seeing so much of his dad in him, eh?
Yeah, very much with the hairstyle and all of that.
Yeah, but anyway, there's the Spanish Super Cup final. What's happening with that?
Yeah, so Barcelona once again were dominant in their game against Real Madrid. The past few years, the format of the Super Cup has been changed, and so it's more or less like the top 4 teams in La Liga playing in a country outside Spain, and it's mostly been Saudi Arabia. And for Barcelona, they had to win their semi-final against Athletic Club. Real Madrid faced their city rivals as Atletico Madrid, and both of them won their games. And so they met in the final, which was a very enthralling game. It was a 5-goal thriller that saw Barcelona just about edge it. Last time out, it was a much heavier scoreline in favor of Barcelona. But this time, Madrid will feel a bit prouder of what they were able to do, but it's still the same outcome. When you're in the final, it's not about playing well, especially when you're Real Madrid. You want to win the trophy. But for Barcelona, I think it's more of the same under Hansi Flick. 4th trophy for the German coach, and it's not that much of a significant trophy, but it's one that gives you a boost and really allows you to assess where you are as the season does stand. And so I think currently Barcelona would feel a lot more confident heading into the final phase of the season, having that 4-point lead over Madrid in La Liga as well.
And I must tell you, I always like watching these. See, the stadia, always, all of them. The stadia are always filled with supporters. But again,
massive infrastructure.
Yes, there's also the AFCON.
Yeah, there's the AFCON as well, and that one is not in the Gulf region, but is in Morocco. And we've seen some really, really lovely bits of football here and there as well. If you're looking at the semi-finalists, I don't think there's much of a surprise to the 4 teams that ended up in the semi-finals. All of them top-ranked countries, top-seeded teams on the continent. So it's more or less the best 4 at the moment, in my opinion, that are going to fight for the title. And everyone has a case to make as to why they should be winning. Nigeria would feel hard done by the fact that they lost last time out to host Ivory Coast. Yeah. And if they want to win it, they have to beat another host this time around in Morocco. And it would be a very, very interesting game. Morocco themselves, they beat Cameroon by 2 goals to 0.
So you expect a very tough competition?
Yeah. I think it will be really, from here on in, it would be extremely tough. Nigeria versus Morocco.
But you want to guess who is going to out of the 4?
Nigeria and Morocco is tough. The thing about a host country is that it's so difficult to beat them, especially because they have the 12th man in their fans.
Yeah.
And so it kind of closes the gap. If it was on a neutral ground, I think Nigeria should be winning this easily.
Yeah.
But I just think it will be much closer because Morocco are hosts. But I still think Nigeria have a different type of fire this time around. Maybe it's because of the World Cup that they did.
Yeah, so
that's kind of spurring them on.
They need to prove themselves, at least get one out of the 2.
I think maybe Nigeria. And you think Nigeria might just edge it.
You're supporting Nigeria in real time, though?
Not necessarily supporting them. I just think that they've been the best team in the tournament.
Okay.
But the AFCON doesn't always go to the best team. That's the thing. So we'll see how it goes. Senegal, Egypt, I also think is a very interesting game as well. Yeah. On paper, you think it will be soft work for Senegal, but Egypt have a way of upsetting the best countries as well. So we'll be looking forward to that one.
We'll be looking forward to that one indeed. Now let's come to Ghana, GPL.
Yes, and Mediama will be smiling because their lead at the top just looks to be widening as well, and that's thanks to a huge 3-0 home win against Young Apostles over the weekend. And that has done them a huge favor because it only consolidates their points at the top of the table where they've continued to be dominant. Remember that they ended the first round of the league on top, and they would look to continue in the same fashion and win the league once again, like they did about 4 years ago. For Asante Kotoko, not the best of weekends.
I was hoping you would not show it. I don't want to see it anymore.
Pressure piling on Karim Zito after that performance as well. And then Hearts of Oak, they got an away win against Oho United. Maoli Wayo getting a very late strike there as well to bring them into the top 5. And then there were other interesting results as well, including Adriana, who beat Kerala by 2 goals to 1. BBNE Gold Stars in there as
Skip
well.
Samatex. Skip it. Don't mention
surprising goalless draw there as well. Yeah, so Samatex, they drop in the table. I think they have about 28 points. At the moment, they are 9 points behind Mediama at the top of the league. And Mediama themselves, I think, have a 5-point lead over BBNE Gold Stars and Indiana Stars. And so it is gradually looking like a Mediama title, even though it's
Charlie, we've
very
been at
early
6
part
for
of the
too
season.
long. And when are we moving to 4 or at least 3?
Yeah, I mean, they have to start winning some matches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, what else do we need to know?
So I think it's more or less the AFCON that would be on Wednesday. Semi-finals, as you mentioned, the 2 games, Nigeria versus Morocco, and then we have Senegal versus Egypt. We do have Belishan, who is in Morocco, and so he'll be bringing us all the behind-the-scenes press conferences and updates, and so you do want to stay with our programs during the day, Sports Daily at 10 a.m., Sports Station at 9 p.m., and then also on social media at TV Sports GH.
And of course, I'm supporting Senegal and Nigeria. Thank you very much, for bringing us the latest in sports. Well, if you've got a gifted child at home, this is your moment. Talented Kids season, and we'll bring you more of that. But you're still here on Newday on TV3. Just stay with us. Well, so let me bring you more on the Talented Kids. And of course, this is season 17. The audition date on the 18th of January 2026. Of course, happening at Kumasi at 10 a.m. and it's at the Micklin Hotel. Yes. And also on 20th of January 2026 will be in Accra, also at 10 a.m. right here on the premises of TV3. And so, yes, if you've got your talented kids at home, don't waste the talent. Bring them here. Kumasi edition will be, the audition in Kumasi is on 18th of January 2026 at the Micklin Hotel, and the one in Accra, 20th of January, right here, TV3 premises. And when we come back, we'll bring you some more. Do stay with us.
Cash out, it goes with Shoko star 439 hash. Increase the number of tickets you have. Become one of those lucky winners. As always, for you to do that, choose option 2.
Yes,
okay?
Option 2. Yes. So keep playing, and very soon your number will pop up. You get the opportunity of getting 1,000 Ghana cedis for the beginning of the week. Don't miss this opportunity. We're giving 10 of you 1,000 Ghana cedis each. So keep playing, star 439 hash. You follow the prompts, you choose number 2, which is right here on TV3.
Wow.
As you play, the journey ends on Sunday, 25th January 2026. As Mentor crowns the next star. 6 finalists, 1 winner, 1 historic night. Ateke, also we have Andy Kwams, Achedie, Kwekushai, Ivy, Hollies, and DNA. Go head to head in a battle of vocal dexterity, electrifying performances, and dazzling dance steps in the Mentor finale. Who walks away with the ultimate prize? Find out live at the National Theatre. That's this coming Sunday. Actually, Sunday, not this coming one, 25th of January 2026 at 8 p.m. Sharp. Tickets are 50 Ghana cedis, and the stage is set. The votes and performances decide it all. So to push your favorite contestant to the grand prize, dial star 31 star 713 star 13 hash. That's star 713 hash 13 hash, or download the MG Reality app. Vote now and keep their dream alive. Be there live at the National Theatre and cheer your contestant to victory. It will be an exciting experience. Well, see you there, 25th of this month, 2026.
All right.
Yes.
You're looking at, is he at the Joy?
Yes, this is at the Joy.
You said where are they located?
In Dasuman, on the La Road, and in East Legon. Right. And you can always find them on social media, @EddieJoy_closet.
Queen Beatrice, that's all. But now, as we told you earlier on, it's somewhere in Teshi, just the Come to School.
Yes.
That's where she is. And potentially, they have issues of water. Not only Teshi, but we have Nungwa. I know that in the Tema areas, so there are areas where we have pockets of water.
I mean, it extends to Chado as well, and some other places close to the area. Yes.
Chado, that's where you put here. You don't usually get water, do you? Or you usually get water.
I mean, we haven't had water
for a while.
Yes. So
all right. So we have to go to.
We go to Na at the Teshi Come to School. She's there, bringing us update from there. Hello, Na. If you can hear us, tell us, what did you find out?
All right, we're coming to you live from Teshi Camp 2, where members of the community are gathered to wait for their turn to get access to some potable water. This is because for the last 4 months or so, members of the Teshi community have not had access to water flowing through their taps. This is because of a report that the Teshi Nungwa desalination plant has been shut down. Now, this crisis has been going on for about 4 months, going on 5 months now. Members of the community have had to rely on calling water tankers and buying sachet water just to be able to do basic daily activities that water is used for. Now, prior to this, the desalination plant has provided about 60,000 cubic meters of potable water to over 500,000 members of this community. Now, this water crisis affects Teshi, it affects Nungwa, and also affects Tema. Now, members of the community here are gathered because there's a drip machine which has just arrived. Now, this drip machine is normally not supposed to be dispensing water to members of the community. Is the District Road Improvement Program machine, which has been organized, so to say, by the Assembly to put water into this polytank. Now, this polytank here belongs to a member of the community who has agreed to receive the water so that the community members can come and fetch it, so to speak. So you see here, there are many gallons lined up, buckets also lined up, each gallon representing one person to come fetch water for members of their household. Let me speak to some of the women to find out exactly how long this has been going on. Ima, ofa enta chobote.
Achomi Vida.
Ni lebine inake nyeba bia kenye manyeba phone.
Wo benu ye. Anga pipe han wo pa sia unu be wo pa government fai ko ne gbele pipe han wo ye Yesu gba mi.
O fa ne pipe me bia nga me be last time ni nu jenye pipe me eba.
E ya to 2 months. 2 months.
E wo dag bi na nyeba bia nyeba fo no alo menye na anu ye.
O wo pa si akutu mi ko te bi amekenu be ko te bi akenu be. At times wo ya ye bula ni wo kenu date ba wo mi da ni wo ba ju o ye.
Ni nue enye hiole kenya ni gallon ke enya hole
me ko me hole ene me ko me hole 1 cd 50 pesos me ko me hole 30 pesos 3 cd 3 me ko me 5 cd
ni enye bo ohio ha bo ke ocean bi
o atan si yo to mo 30 cds 3 30 cds yes
ni ochuani
o fa na mi won sabulai
Obia ne na moyo onichumo here alo o shi onichumo no ba bia ne
o fa ne nga store e won ba mba ma phone down because no be nye gbeke ni aye pure water da ni kaju he pure water da ni kan bia wo kaju he
obi enye
amaye 3
o pure water no ko bia 10 fe enye kanu adwunye okay imba fa bo nta cho boten
acha mi Frida
ni bo hu oba ka oba phone alo kele nye
oh mi ba ma phone
o gallon senye
ngalo se 4
Yo 4 gallons say anji ake chone ne ba bia ngene nkwe mobile phone we
wo ye bula ko ye wo shashi akutua mi fe hu bafo e wo ko me oni onafio ye chie ke bo hofu ke wo ka ju wo he
ni bo ho bi enye
mi bi 5
ona bi na lo bi je
ina bi ni
obi 5 ko na bi enye
ina bi enyo
ni 5 ni kenya nanu e bia bo ho hio pure water ko alo
on hio pure water ni nkaju
ewo obi 5 ke bo ko ona bi nye fe nye ke pure water ju onye
mo ko me kaju ni mo me bule hu ke bule e fio baye ni ke wo ye no hu fitai
ewo shika nye ni ko nye ke hio nu in a week
oh just na bibio na ayo ke o fite kula be no ma na o 4 million 80
400 cedis. All right. So you heard some of the women in the community are saying that they have to resort to buying sachet water to basically take a shower in the morning. And some of them have about 7 members in the household, 8, 9, and they have to rely on sachet water when they don't get access to water like this. And some of them are also saying that they come here or to other places where they can get water to purchase water in these gallons. In some areas, it's sold at 1 cedi 50 pesos per gallon, and in some other areas, it's sold at 3 cedis per gallon. Let me speak to some of the men. I'm at the inside. Okay, okay. Touch up with
acho mi ako
bo ina ka oso he fa wa phone alo ochon bi keke
manke tonke tankemba na aka momo bi almost 2 months kese ni wona nu ni won pin won pa fai won pa wa MP fai won pa wa MCE fai won pa wa assemblyman fai e kam tu suchunu aka won pa fai abomode na ba wa politank agwagba e momo bi na nya ke nu awo mi kaje chele wona ko wofo ni wonu wo ke kwa duwe 2 months kese ne wona ko nu ma imbe wa lo na nu podi nke junye insistence ni afo no am ni ke ju won pa me fa na me wawo ye nu e o twa no manyaba
here Oyiwadon. There you have it, also pleading on the community leaders to, she says they should bring polytanks to supply them water. Ofana won't be oyo.
Yeah, John mi bia no.
Oba bia ko oba phone alumino wa fi.
Ye sha na atwa aka ho. Aga water ko ba wo fen oba fo ko no ani mba bia ne.
E wo that we can no ba cha nya ne ken.
This is the first time kenklen inu aka ka nu ba bia ne oba no oba fo ko. Shini ba bia ne line ni machine je line yo. Mo fe mo ke ba ke ni e ba fatai. Mo fe mo ke ba ke ne after. O na line na. Kuma mo komeni bi o bia ke mo komeni bi na lo menye ni bi ni. Kaje ni adomo shini mi nkwe no. Come from back go me. Come from go with me. E time e ba shebo no. Ne na gba nko meji. Kwen wale ake obi ane agbele once a week. Tomo 2 weeks na agbele ko. O bi ake mini ewo, mini ya no. Mini wona agbele ko pipe. Mini chion pipe na agbele mo na e wo ne ka abanya ba supply o no every time ni wo ba short nulo e na agba nka no bo he onye no go fi o won pa government fi district assembly ni obi ene amebo mode mo na agbele ha wo fe no wo ba don obi ene will be rushing the water kevna kan e ha ni e papa ko mo fi mo ko aba bi ene won pa fi agbele ni at least once a week e won no shishin agbele ha wo ko ni wona nu. All right.
Over a minute, you want to.
Which one in hotel?
You will be an oya ni chuang menalo.
Here off. Here off.
Okay. It will be many things more famous. I'm a leaka can we baneke.
Many amele. Ni no any machine. Imbe so ake ba shewo. Because ba so me ba. Kai ono nu no owolo li bi kemba. E wo ko ko any nu any machine ba shewo. Ni hye ba nye ba. Imbe so ake te ta frache e ba ko se wa be ko. E wo won pa fai. Won pa fai. Agbele mo ha wo. Was when agbele ha wo fe no na ba supply of water.
E won ne e district assembly.
Na gaje no wole because when I get drip chone ekoni. E wo be district assembly. Yes.
Oh you are done. Fine talk be.
Acho mi latte.
Oh you are done. So there you have it. More members of the community speaking about the problem. Now I see right up the road there's a chips compound. And I want to find out if this chips compound is also suffering the same water crisis, because that would be very difficult to imagine that a medical facility would not have water. Let's go over there and speak to them. To health center is a chips compound, and we're told that there's no water here as well. Let's talk to some of the nurses in the building. Hello. Good morning. Hello, sister. What's your name, please?
Gifty Hazel.
Gifty, and what's your name?
Georgina Danso.
Georgina, we have just arrived here to talk to some community members about the water crisis, and we saw that it was a chips compound here. Do you have water here?
No, please.
You don't have water operating here at the facility?
No.
How are you able to do your work? We know that water is very important in healthcare delivery. How are you able to do your work with no water?
Okay, so for now we have our orderly here, Mr. Ashite, who goes to fetch water, I think at Kamtu Junction, every morning to fill the barrel, at least like 2 gallons every morning to fill the barrel. And then that is what we use for our day-to-day activities. So because of that, we are not able to do our usual dusting. Then when it comes to washing of the hands, sometimes we buy sachet water to wash our hands because we don't have enough water to go ahead with.
You buy sachet water to wash your hands?
Yes.
And for patients who need to go to the bathroom, I mean, for healthcare delivery, you would need water. Do they all rely on the water that comes from the water that the orderly goes to fetch in the barrel?
So sometimes when I'm coming from the house, I bring water. So that's the water sometimes they use to wash their hands and then go to the bathroom when they need to go to the bathroom.
How long has this been going on for?
For like 2 months now. For 2 months, almost 2 months. We don't have water. So we have to bring water from the house. And with the nurses too, when we have to go to the washroom and then there's no water, sometimes you just have to hold it before, when you get home, then you do it.
And this has been going on for 2 months. Yes. Have you been told anything about a possible solution to this problem?
Not really. No, they've not told us anything. So we are just waiting.
And this orderly who goes to fetch the water, is it part of his responsibilities? Do you have to pay him extra to do this? And who pays for the water that he fetches?
So sometimes we give him money to fetch the water.
As in your pocket money as a nurse?
Pocket money as a nurse. It's not his responsibility, but since there is water crisis, we've added to it.
And does he always get water from this location?
No, he doesn't. Sometimes he has to go as far back as Kamtu Junction to get the water.
And he carries it on his head and brings it here?
Yes.
It's not a tanker?
No, it's not a tanker. He carries it on his head.
How many times does he have to go in a day?
3-4 times.
Is he around? He's queuing for water at the drip machine. And is he giving priority because he's bringing it to the hospital?
No. They don't give him priority. He has to queue like all the other people.
So he basically has to stay in the queue and wrestle just like everyone else?
Yes.
Even though he's bringing it to a medical facility?
Yes, he has to queue. They don't care. He has to queue.
Have you had to turn people away because you can't give them the treatments they need because of the water crisis?
No. We don't. Right. If we don't have water, still we attend to you.
Thank you so much for speaking to us. So there you have it. I'm at the CHIPS compound here in Camp 2, and they're just telling us that in order for them to get water, they have to send their orderly to go and queue with the rest of the community members to get water to bring to the facility. I see the assemblyman for the area has also arrived. Let's just talk to them. Good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
You are Honorable Farouk, am I right?
Yes, I'm Honorable Farouk.
Okay, the assemblyman for this area. Yes. We just arrived and saw the drip machine outside dispensing water. We've spoken to the nurses here at the CHIPS compound. They also don't have water. Exactly what can you say to the members of your community about this problem?
Okay, first of all, I'll give you a big thanks to TV3 and your listeners. What I will say about it is that for some time now, the whole electoral area has not got water. And it has become a very big problem and a big challenge. What I will say is, even when you're having money to even buy tankers, you don't even get the water. And then the prices of the tankers too are very, very high. Most of the time people may call me, Assembly, what are you doing about the water? What are you doing about the water? Especially this facility and that of the school. You know, God being so good, they just went on vacation and they are back. And I know that the pressure will still mount. Especially those within the electoral area, most of the time call. You see them with these gallons that we used to call Kufor gallons, going around looking for water. At least sometimes around as early as 4 a.m. People get up, go to different electoral areas just to get water. I'm begging and I'm pleading on the government to do something for us. At least you try and come to our aid. I mean, to let the water flow.
I see this drip machine here. Is it from the assembly or who is dispensing this water now?
Oh, okay. The drip machine is from the assembly. As you know, this drip machine has been very helpful for the community. No, actually, Suchuno, other electoral areas. The drip machines will go as far as to different electoral areas, different constituencies, just to go and get water for the people of Lejukuku. So I'll just give a big thanks to the MC, Honorable Israel Ajete Uchema, and that of the MP, Honorable Benjamin Ayukunate. And that of the MP, Honorable Benjamin Ayukunate, for their good work that they are doing for this constituency.
So this machine that's dispensing the water is from the assembly. That's from the assembly. So does the assembly run the drips operations?
Yes, it is the assembly who is taking cost of everything.
And where does the drip machine get the water from?
Going to sometimes we used to go to different electoral area when the drip coordinator says that maybe there's water flowing maybe around Nungwa. You may contact the assembly or talk to the MCE or talk to the MP, and then maybe the MP may fuel it, or the assembly will also sometimes take a cost of it, and then they move as far as Nungwa and other areas, sometimes cantonment and other areas, just to go and get water for the community.
What is Ghana Water saying about this? Because this machine surely cannot dispense enough water to serve the entire community. And it's one of the concerns that the community members have raised, that this machine, well, you're doing the little you can to help them, but it is not a solution to the problem. What has the Ghana Water Company told you?
Oh, okay. I made my own research. I went to the Ghana Water Company, the district office within Lejukuku. But what they told us that it is a problem from the Nungwa desalination water. That there is a problem there. They're having problem with the machines and other kind of stuff. That's why we are not getting good flow of water. As normally, most of the time, the water used to flow within a week. We used to flow at least once a week. But due to this, due to this problem that they said that there is problem with the machines at the desalination water, I think with this, the water does not flow at all. So we are pleading on Ghana Water. They should do what they can as quickly as possible so that they should also come to our aid and then come to the people.
Have they given you any timelines when you can expect this crisis to come to an end?
No timeline.
All right. Thank you so much.
They're having a schedule that they told us that maybe if this week, let's say Suchuno gets water, the next week maybe Tribula Central will get water. So they told us they are having a schedule for us, so maybe we are also still following the schedule. But we pray that as quickly as possible, this thing should be solved and the people of Lejukuku will also get good water and potable water to drink as well.
Thank you so much, Honorable Farouk, for speaking to us. And there you have it. The Assembly member says that Ghana Water Company cannot tell them exactly when this crisis will come to an end. However, they are rationing water, so it would move from constituency to constituency or electoral area to electoral area. But as it stands now, the taps are not flowing. the people in the community are having to rely on either buying water in Kufuor gallons for between 1 cedi 50 pesos to 3 Ghana cedis per gallon. That is even when the water is available to be bought. Or they buy sachet water to bath, to cook, to clean, and do everything else that, we need water to do on a daily basis, which is putting a strain on their finances. People are not going to work because they have to wait for the water. People are having to dip into their savings to buy extra water. And the most difficult part from what I have seen today is this CHIPS compound, which is a medical facility which uses water for pretty much everything to provide proper health care to members of the community. And they also are having to queue with the rest of the community members for water in gallons and also rely on pure water. And all of this is funded by the nurses with their own pocket money. You can only imagine the strain this will put on the facility. And that is what we have found out today here in Teshi. We are told that the same problem persists in Nungwa and in Tema as well. And in the coming days, we will visit those areas to let you know exactly how the members of the community are also dealing with this problem. And we will get to also speak to the Ghana Water Company to find out when this crisis is projected to come to an end. My name is Nasha, coming to you live from Teshi Camp 2.
Thank you so much, Nashoko. Quite a worrying situation as she brought to us, particularly the CHIPS compound that she found and the fact that water is very critical for them to provide quality health care, and yet they have to queue with the community.
Yeah, and it's a very sad thing.
Yeah.
Teshi, Nungwa, and its environs have always been plagued with the water crisis. It's why the desalination plants was put together prior to 2015, etc. Of course, it encountered some difficulty at the time. They said that it was expensive to maintain, among many others. But
it's been done for at least 2 years. Yes.
And potentially, I think that perhaps maybe the Ghana Water Company needs to do its best to make sure that some of these residents are able to get access to the commodity. It's very, very important.
Yes. Well,
the utility.
Yes. If it's your birthday today, we want to help you celebrate the day big. So we want to wish you well. But before your birthday, though, let me remind you that Optima Solar Systems offers reliable solar energy solutions in Ghana, including solar panels, lithium batteries, water heaters, water pumps, and solar-powered CCTV. They provide installation, ongoing maintenance, repairs, and even comprehensive solar insurance against theft, fire, flood, and more. Flexible payment plans are available. The services suit homes, farms, and businesses, helping customers cut electricity bills, gain energy independence, and of course, support the environment as well. Contact or call them now on 030-2824-9900, 0505023472. Let me bring you the numbers again. 030-824-9900 or 050-502-3472. You can check out the website on www.optimasolarsystems.com, social media, Instagram, Facebook at Optima Solar GH. And are you looking for a university that will prepare your child for the future? Then Academic City University is the best choice for you. At Academic City, we do not just teach, we nurture creators, innovators, and leaders who shape tomorrow's world. Remember that we offer undergraduate programs in engineering, computational sciences, business and communication art, and our BSc in artificial intelligence and robotics engineering are the first and only one of its kind in sub-Saharan Africa. With world-class facilities and industry experience, facility and faculty, students do not just learn the latest technology, they actually create it. And for working professionals and young graduates, we have got you covered as well with our MSc programs in cybersecurity and data science analytics, as well as our professional certificate programs. Yes, at Academic City, our programs are practical, relevant, and future-focused. You can call us now on 026-269-3870 or visit acity.edu.gh for more information. Admissions are now open. Academic City, make your mark. Now, don't forget that we'll still help you celebrate your birthday today. Now, if you've got a gifted child at home, this is your moment. Yes, Talented Kids Season 17 auditions are officially open. In Kumasi, we meet at Mecklin Hotel. That's on the 18th of January 2026 from 8 a.m. sharp. And for Accra, right here, our families in Accra, you come to TV3 premises here on the 20th of January 2026, also from 8 a.m. Talented Kids Season 17, where talent finds stage. So let's help you celebrate your birthday now. If it's your birthday today, from all of us, from our hearts, happy birthday to you, Nana Araba Kukua.
At the Ministry of Youth and Sports. God bless you. It's from your friends and family, including myself. So wishing you all the best, Nanaraba Kukua, the Ministry of Youth and Sports.
Ohima Efiakobi, God bless you from your family and loved ones. Is that, what's the name?
Kakum.
Kakum, yes. Stephanie Amatete of Ariase Ekwiapim. Enjoy your new age from your wife and all your children. Happy birthday to you, sir. Mrs. Yaya Amotin, God bless you so much. Thanks for being a blessing. Have an amazing new year ahead. Lily, I'm grateful for your friendship and all our memories. Wishing you the happiest day from Laurentia. Prophetini Question Kwao of Adidome Government Hospital, Greater Grace from Sabina. Simon at Tubugri at Tule, I wish you peace and long life. From Chrysoa. Oh, Mr. Soa, happy birthday to you, Simon. Vera Kosa of Esikado Government Hospital, I wish you a year full of blessings from Mami Araba. Gertrude Abena Frimpoma, wishing you a continued good health, a success and fulfillment in all your endeavors. From Bernard Garcia Jr. Bernardo. Mr. Gordon Kwekusa, CEO of Saji Tours, God bless you from all your loved ones. Kwekwa Kresiajiman of the Men's Fellowship, from all your loved ones. Happy birthday to you, sir. And happy birthday from all of us to you and from your loved ones as well. Yes. Well, remember that the journey ends on Sunday, 25th January. That's just a few days away. 2026 at Mentor crowns the next star. 6 finalists, 1 winner, 1 historic night ticket. Also, Andy Kwams, Achedie, Kweku Shai, Ivy Hollies, and DNA go head-to-head in a battle of vocal dexterity, electrifying performances, and dazzling dance steps in the Mentor finale. Who walks away with the ultimate prize? We'll find out live at the National Theatre this Sunday on 25th of January 2026 at 8 p.m. sharp. Tickets are selling now at 50 Ghana cedis. The stage is set, the vote and performances decide it all. To push your favorite contestant to the grand prize, dial star 713 star 13 hash. That's star 713 star 13 hash, or download the MG Reality app. Vote now and keep their dream alive. Be there live at the National Theatre and cheer your contestant to victory. It will be an exciting experience, and we will all see you there, 25th of January 2026. And that's it for the show today.
Well,
right?
that's it. Make sure you join us same time tomorrow. Let's have some exciting, interesting, and educative time right here on TV3 Newday.